Metric.
Like I am. I just saw your meme post. I am always thirsty. Let's put it this way: the first drinking game I played, I got told to stop drinking, and I said why. They said
Oh,
you're supposed to
I
drink when
remember
you
that.
you're supposed to drink when you lose. I said, but it tastes good and I'm thirsty.
Dude, I remember when you were drinking out of this glass that you had mixed like freaking like very like sweet alcohol, and you're like, was I supposed to finish 2 bottles? What?
Dude,
That was a day.
I don't set down drinks. I am always thirsty. It's
Thing
funny
is,
because every
alcohol makes you more thirsty, so
It
it's
does.
never
That's the funny
ending.
part. It's just never ending cycle of just drink, 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 refill, 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 drink, 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 drink.
But yeah, the first drink game I played, it was like a high-low. You had to like go through a deck of cards, or like it was like 12 or like 20 cards, and like high or low, and you had to guess right. And every time you messed up, you had to drink. I messed up 3 times on the whole game, but I finished 2 drinks.
Damn.
And like they were like, dude, how are you going through these so fast? I said, I'm just thirsty, and it
I'm a
tastes
thirsty
good.
boy. That's so funny.
Hello. It is that
Yo.
time. I do believe that we are still waiting on Mr. Loki on Vannon.
Wait,
wanna
it's
give
not
him another
KB
5
for
minutes?
once?
Oh no.
KB
How
was
did I
like
know?
an hour early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in here.
I was here before all of them, so
I think that's not fair. You joined the Discord at like 3:30,
Yeah,
and then go hang with your wife for 3 hours.
I got Rob to think that.
Bro, it was funny seeing Rob say, "Did
started
I?"
out early.
That was funny as fuck.
I will admit, you made me look at the clock for a moment, made me think for a second, is it daylight savings? Is it near that time? And it's like, no, it's not that time. So
He made a double take.
I had to like take a second of, hold on, am I getting mind fucked here, or is that actually a legitimate thing? Like, is my clock wrong? So let's see. So I know that Loki might be a little late. Who knows? If you're wanting to wait for him, that's fine. However, for now, let's go in for a little recap for those that weren't here last time or those that do not remember. The group known as Grave Undertaking have finally left Estira, the capital of Essrena, partaking in their quest in not only saving but also receiving individuals inside of a underground market related and very dark organized place known as Avin, who seems to be currently in capacity of a lot of very dark related individuals, and you guys are currently heading there in hopefully hopefully to try and find some individuals that you're trying to save, including the princess of the country, as well as a few individuals that you're getting from home, as well as some individual uh, quests that are being needed to be taken care of in this particular space. You guys are currently on the outskirts of Avon at this moment in time, using the Hell Wagon that your one of the members, Rudiger, has been able to acquire from his father. Promised to not have a scratch. However, most of the windshield and the windows of the front carriage have been shattered after a recent ambush with what seems to be a large collective of bandits and what seems to be a no man's land of lawless land between Avin and Astera.
No
That
werewolf
seems to
bandits.
be slowly surrounding the area. Indeed.
Right.
You guys have made your way past a unknown barricade that seems to have been protected by another adversary of the group by the name of Madame Vidalis, who seems to have told Daisy to stay away, which was agreed upon, saying that they will not interfere with Miss Vidalis's business as long as she does not interfere with the family. So, you guys are starting to come to a near evening as you guys start to rest along the southern side of Avin. Still moving. Hello, Venom.
Hello.
You still are able to move, and you do see that you have pretty much all of the fuel still in the tank. However, you would have been told by Roger Howard that the individuals within Avon would recognize his car if you had decided to enter with it. Or at least the higher authorities might recognize him. Some of you were injured during the excursion. Some by the outside forces and some by self-mitigated. There is still currently a hole between the front carriage and the back.
Breck will take care of it. Fix the whole thing right up.
Rex just gonna look at the hole, look at you, shrugs his shoulders like, I'll do my best.
It'll buff right out.
Yeah.
Just starts
sure.
to get to work.
Here's my question: how are we gonna hide this thing?
Do we have to hide it?
Wasn't Fleep supposed to come and get it after we dumped it in the desert?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to hide it.
Then just leave it here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just leave it in the desert.
People.
okay.
Just lock it, bury the keys under the car, and that's it.
Maybe put some sand.
See,
on
even
it,
Harry
make it
agrees.
more-
I mean, Can no, that's a bad idea. Part of me was wondering if we could hide it in the rope trick. I was kind of thinking through the logistics of that.
How wide is the car?
It is 15 foot long and around 6 foot wide. Yep,
Ooh,
can't
hold
fit
on.
inside the bag and can it fit
Yeah.
inside of the portable hole.
Ooh.
We didn't.
I thought the portable hole is 10 feet wide.
Doesn't rope
10
trip
foot
only
wide.
last for an hour? Is it a day? Is it 24 hours? Am I?
I don't know. I don't have the spell. I don't know.
Oh.
No, but like I remember being told that it goes to the top of the rope. So part of me was like, what if we like turn it upside down and we put the car in it downward? And then I just realized that's just gonna hurt the car.
I think
Well,
that
do we have a cave somewhere we can just put a wall up?
no, just is it still just flat desert? I thought there's like ruins and stuff around.
You
outside
can
the-
see that there are distinctful towers that have been constructed. A few of them do seem to have reasonable remains that seem to surround them. But you do see man-made structures that also litter the expanding land around. You are currently in like a small little like gathering of larger stones that seemed to be surrounding your area that allowed you to not be noticed by like occasional sounds of patrolling horses, which you do assume to be mostly of groups of patrolling bandits in this lawless area.
Gonna be werewolf bandits.
Maybe. Roll me a perception check.
Here we go. All right. I'll take it.
Looking around, especially since the sun is going down, you're quickly glancing back in the same direction as you had seen the previous group. No sound of howling at the moment.
Okay, so we're good for right now. I mean, it was a while. It was like an hour ago, so give
Yeah.
it time.
Give it time.
Yeah, I don't. Should we get a little closer
if
to the
thing
city?
comes, Professor, are you
Are
scared of that
werewolves
thing?
monstrosities?
Why are we afraid of werewolves? You got me.
Roll me a nature
no.
check, please.
No. Keep like Presser has said nothing to anybody about doing this.
Oh.
An 11.
And Breck saw him put some black like
Bro,
ichor
I
on
have a
an arrowhead.
28
and that's it.
perception. I sure I hear that thing.
Okay, I will say this. You do not believe that a werewolf is a monstrosity.
Gotcha.
Hey, Rob.
Hi.
Me trying to figure out a solution to this problem came up with an idea that didn't work, and now I have an idea of a creation I could make, and I kind of don't know how to go forward about this. Like, if Harry
Okay.
wouldn't have an idea about this.
Okay.
So,
What
I was
is
trying
this
to think.
situation?
You said the car was what, 15 feet long?
It is 15 foot long and around 6 foot wide.
So, I was trying to think that Lehman's tiny hut is a 10-foot radius, right?
Correct.
Which means it's 20 foot. But the problem is that we'd have to have someone stay inside of it. We can't really afford to give up somebody to stay inside the car to keep it protected or hidden from the elements at all times. Especially the person that knows HUD, because then, they're kind of
You
locked.
did see that when you did Lehman's tiny hut before, that you could only protect two parts of your car, either the front or the back.
I thought you said it was 15 feet long.
It was
And we
15
had-
foot long. You had
And
three
Lehman's
parts
is
of the car.
10-foot radius. Then
Right,
that
you
would,
had the back sticking out. You had the front
is it
compartment.
10-foot
and the
diameter?
second No, it is. So Lehman's tiny hut is 10 foot. I believe it's 10 foot wide.
Is it
Or
radius
is
or
it 10
diameter?
foot radius? I think it might be 10 foot radius.
Which means it's 20 feet. Which means 15 feet fits snugly or comfortably within that.
Okay. Carry
wrong?
on.
So the idea that I was then thinking is, it also goes back to the idea previously I had about finding a way to use the silence spell, like the zone of silence or whatever it's called, silence essentially, on an object and having it hold the radius. And this is where I have an idea of maybe creating some type of object that could work as a catalyst, is as a amplify. It's like a base. It basically takes in the spell for any area of effect spells and holds it on the object rather than a person or location. So, like, you could use Lehman's tiny hut through the cube, and the cube would be what's projecting the hut, not a person. You put silence on it, and the area of silence goes where the cube goes. So it basically
have
would,
to
like,
enchant that, and that takes a lot of time.
yeah, that, like, I'm an artificer. It's an idea that I kind of want to maybe, like, work on.
Okay.
So I don't know how you feel about that. If you don't want to do, like, if that's just a no, then just save me the effort on it. But it's an idea that I'm just now, my brain is spitting out, and I'm like, maybe.
Okay. So you're trying to essentially create a Lehman's tiny hut, but also at the same time a silent spell.
It's not creating the spells. It's creating an object that it kind of emanates spells that are cast on it from the object instead of like from the caster.
Okay.
It's an odd idea, and I don't know how to explain it. But if you just like, if you're willing to
You would
think about
need
it, we can
to
talk about it later.
You would need to probably infuse a lot of your magic into some form of magical based, and it would have to be a magical ore that could possibly suppress or sustain a charge within it.
Like a spell
And
ring on steroids.
and the only thing that you know so far that usually enhances magical effects is the Estera ore of Essrena. Essentially, the black ore that you see in a lot of the armor and weapons of the Royal Guard of Estera have been using.
As an artificer, am I able to? So, an idea with that statement, if it's an ore, I could create a box of that and then essentially have it function as a ring of spell storing. So, if I tinkered a ring of spell storing into the ore, maybe it could channel the spell once it's cast on it on the box.
Possibly. It is a theory.
I like the theory. Noted. If you decide that you don't like this idea and you don't feel like dealing with it for whatever bullshit might happen from it, you can just tell me and I'll just drop it. But it's an idea that my brain is not working on.
It's a theory that you can definitely try. You just need the resources and the time to put into it.
Yeah, that's okay. I apologize. I very much sidetracked everything that was going on, but like I was trying to come up with a way to solve the car problem, and then I had to come up with an answer to make my solution a possibility. Because otherwise there was none. So I need a crazy idea notes section in my character sheet.
Rhett continues to move over, goes into one of the windows, casts mending. Glass crackles and returns back into place. We'll look over the windshield where there's a few arrows that are currently still stuck through it. Just starts pulling a few out. Starts mending. Is there any further progression being made? Or are you guys staying in this particular cluster of rocks at the moment?
I'm gonna stay here and keep an
How
eye open while Brett does his thing.
how far from Avon are we in Camel?
Uh, maybe you'd believe a good day's worth by camel.
So if we travel the next day completely, we arrive to Avon by night, right?
More than likely, yes, unless you're interrupted.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we can hide the car here, rest up, and then leave.
I will say this, Professor.
Professor.
Mr. Professor.
I guess he's not here.
If he's not here, please do tell him that he would remember technically that Fleep would only pick up the car if the keys are left behind. So if you're wanting to risk leaving the car while you guys are doing your stuff in Avon, You could technically leave it here, knowing technically where it is, but also risk the fact of someone finding it.
That's why I said we bury the keys under the car.
I'm cool with that.
And I will let, Fleep know where the keys are. Hell, you can bury them like next to rock number whatever, and then I tell Fleep under which rock you hide them.
Crackling of glass slowly falling into place.
If this is a thing that you're worried about, then I could just simply conjure up some sending stones and leave the one here, and then we take the other. Whenever they get to the car, they can just contact us, and we can tell them where the keys are at.
I mean, just sending right now isn't a problem. That's what I mean.
Okay. I was just trying to suggest because I can just make the stones. Like I just like bend over and pick up 2 pebbles, and it's like sending stones. That's simple. You don't have to spend anything.
Well, yeah, but I do also get my magic back, so it's like, I mean, we could also tell them, pick up this rock, and then we'll tell you where the keys are. Whenever you reach the car, something like that, if you want. Since, imagine we're not traveling any further today.
Although, as a side note, if I'm correct, Rob, if I make the stones, that's considered one of my infusions. So thus, I would have to either give up a repeating shot or enhanced defense.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So up to you. You rather have
Yeah,
one AC or sending stones. So
I'd rather have the 1 AC.
Yep.
I can just send the sending once we know where we're gonna bury this thing.
Rek looks over from his progressing mending, looks over. I too enjoy air conditioning.
Me too. Me too.
Goes back to working on the window.
Well, we're gonna just stay here for the night. Might as well,
Well,
right?
yes. Well, yes. It is the best intentions to do. It's like, use the car for one more night.
All right, I'll go first shift then.
Alright, I'll take the second.
Meanwhile, Vannon, if you are here, you are currently muted. Hey, buddy. I'm assuming you're in your room, or in one of the rooms. I'm assuming you're looking down at the familiar blade, inspecting it for a moment. Anything else? I do not know if he can actually. Is he even doing something right now? I think he's in the middle of something.
Talking
Vannon?
TV's on.
I guess so.
Yeah, so he's just trying to. Vanna would just try to talk to the knife.
What would he say?
Just talk about the past couple of events. See if he
There's
had any
a
pointers.
few moments until a slight chuckling sound can be heard in the back of your head. A slight giggling, especially after the mentioning of the explosions of the current attack from the small camp that you had encountered the day before, especially after giving the details of teleporting over and blowing up the much larger numbers of the group. The chuckling and giggling begins to grow slightly as eventually you do see in the corner of the room, sitting on a chair, directly across from you, you see what seems to be a small shadow like figure. However, you see what seems to be small hints of a blood crimson red like suit covering the entirety of his form. However, you also see what seems to be a pitch black head, featureless face, except for a smile of burning crimson red and two burning white eyes looking back towards you. As you'll see his head turn, you'll hear a slight jingling sound coming from directly above his head, as you'll see him look over towards you.
You have interesting tales. Very interesting indeed. I would love for you to provide more for me. If you are able to provide such, then I am willing to possibly reward such things. And I do
What did you
find
ask for?
more entertainment in a
Ah.
general sense of fact.
Oh yes,
I want to be.
I think there'd be plenty of more entertainment for you.
Oh, I am wonderful to hear. Do be careful now. Might cause a bit of trouble down the line if you keep making such large performances. Although I'm not exactly one to propose to meander away from your current eventual chaotic nature, I would like for you to at least try and stick to the path. This lot are entertaining enough. Would be a shame to lose them too easily. Find me more. Now, my dear boy, let us find some more things to entertain with. More people to add to the ring. We have a circus to grow and a circus to entertain. Let us make it a fine crowd. But ensure...
As you know, we're a good place to find a huge number of bodies.
Do make it at least a fine show.
Oh, I have a plan.
You'll see him slowly fade and shift into the shadows. Dagger in your hand, giving a slight curl, a dripping of blood that seems to continuously drop onto the ground. Starting shifts.
I'll take
Oh,
I'll take the first shift with Vrek and help him repair the car a little bit, like before I go to bed, kind of thing.
Wasn't
I'll
doing
take
the first
last two.
shift as well?
Yeah, I'm on first shift.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
okay.
do first.
Dune, Vrick, and Rutiger.
I'll do the
Daisy,
last
you
two.
volunteering for any shifts?
I'm second.
I'll volunteer to join on second.
All right. This is the current standings.
For beans.
So, first shift, Dune, Vrek, and Rudiger.
Yep.
Vrek is going to continue making as much repairs as he can. He has been able to at least take care of the front booth. The front windshield and the side windows have been taken care of.
Nice.
However, as he is stepping outside, there is a large peppering of arrows that seem to have been littered along the outside of the uh, car itself. There are plenty of scratches along the sides of the car from the multiple arrows and bolts that seem to have hammered across the sides. And you do see Vrek is carefully like taking a cloth and starting to wipe away most of the scratches and scrapes. But it's taking a fair amount of time.
Sure.
They seem to be mostly focused on that. If Dune and Rudiger, either of you would like to make perception or survival checks,
I would like
You're
to
free to do
perception
so.
checks. I'm gonna do shift to
Yep.
get advantage on these. If you don't mind.
I'll do survival. Since I'm working with Vrek, I'm gonna take this at disadvantage just because I think that's fair.
Okay.
Not really paying attention to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
10.
Both of you keeping a genuine like ear out and watching on either side. It would be a reasonably quiet start to the shift as you're listening out and watching. It would be around the moment that this moon comes up that you will indeed see a full moon rising up into the sky.
Excellent.
As Professor, you're working around the back and seeing the trunk has indeed been smashed open a few times. However, you do see that there is some form of magical lock that seems to have resealed the back door. So you do see that there has been like some partial bending to the back of the trunk of the car, where you can see people have been trying to like pry it open while riding.
Yeah.
However, you'll see inside of the trunk what seems to be a large chest that is currently resting inside of it.
Okay, so I didn't get anything. We put stuff in that chest, right? If I'm not mistaken. We'll put some stuff in there.
I don't believe so.
No, the only chest that I've opened is the one with the earrings.
Yeah, I'll look in the chest just to. See what
Uh, you are reaching inside the bent metal as Vrek is like looking over, like, Professor, we are trying to repair it, not try to damage it further.
I don't know. Just give me 1 second. I need to look in this chest. Just curious.
You reach inside and you do feel a slight barrier for a moment as you're reaching in, only for you to push forwards without any issues. And as you do so, you see what seems to be a reasonably large looking chest that seems to be locked on the front, and you do see what seems to be a very fine 4-digit lock that has your family crest on the front of it.
Hmm. Would I have been told what this combination is at any point, or is this just new to me?
You would know that your father usually had particular numbers relating to like certain things. If this chest was here, it's here for a reason, and it's locked for.
Sure. I guess it's pretty safe in assuming there's some sort of magic on it as well.
You would believe so, yes.
Yeah. All
This
right.
is
Yeah,
your father.
yeah, we're just gonna leave it alone. All right, Breck. Let's see what we can do. Dude. Professor like looks up from the truck. Where is Dune? Are you outside the car?
Yeah, I'm probably sitting on top of a rock outside the car, just looking out, watching.
Oh. And Professor like raises his head up, like Dune. Just full moon out. Just keep an eye out for vampires or werewolves, please.
You think I'm scared of a couple of werewolves?
No, of course not. I got a feeling. Just keep your eyes
Dune,
open.
as you say that, there is a distinctful howling sound coming from the northeastern side.
Oh, I hope it comes over here.
God. Yeah, I
You
figured.
know what? Actually, I'll let out a howl back at it.
Oh my
Roll
God.
me an intimidation check, please.
Oh well.
Okay. Actually, would you allow me to rage and get a bonus on it?
I will say this is on instinct, so no.
Okay, gotcha. Intimidation. Okay, gotcha.
After hearing the howl into the air, you send out your own guttural howl in the same direction, and you wait for a moment, and very faintly you can hear the sound of screams and the sound of voices echoing out into the air. As Dune, you'll look out on the horizon outside of your collective uh, large stones that are currently surrounding your car. You can see what seems to be a group of maybe 4 or 5 horse riders that are currently running along. You'll see immediately following after them what seems to be a large, lumbering, furred individual currently rushing after them.
I'll kind of just like when I'm watching, I'll kind of like get up until like I'm a crouch, standing, like you know what I'm talking about, like standing up and crash down on my knees, just and then just watching everything happen. That's all my attention's on right now.
Dune. It
Mhm.
is maybe 5, maybe 6 minutes later. You see a second one follow after them.
The smile on my face gets even bigger. Hi, Professor.
Yes, Dune.
There's 2 of them now.
Are they toward the northeast?
Mm-hmm. They're chasing after horseback riders
This
right now.
group in particular was going from the northeast, and they were heading directly towards the west.
I'll
Okay.
let them know that.
Yeah, just let me know if they head this way.
By the time that happens, I'll be gone already.
Okay.
I'll meet
Careful.
him head on. I just look back at him like a seriously kind of look.
It is at this point that you hear the sound of gunfire echoing out into the sound of shouts and screams echoing out. There is a distinctful sound of 2 howls echoing out as well into the air that quickly follows.
Mm-hmm.
No more
The,
gunshots.
Yeah,
they
those
sound
aren't
like
gonna work.
No more screams.
okay. So it sounds like a successful hunt then.
You would believe so.
I nod my head kind of approvingly. I have to keep watching that way.
You watch time passes by. There's the occasional sound of gunfire, the occasional sound of shouting in the air, all coming from all forms of direction that seems to be omnipresent from all sides, almost reverberating into this reflective like space. As every now and then you hear a voice of a different group either ambushing another, either caravan or bandit camp, or the collective sound of howls echoing out into the air.
Very
Until
lively night.
eventually your time comes back and your time runs out. 2 hours pass on by. Vrek looks
Okay.
over. Gentlemen, it is wonderful to say that the wagon is mostly fixed. However, the interior is still something that is going to be hard to fix.
Sure.
Need
Yeah,
further
do
research.
what you can with it.
No, who cares?
Not
I
expecting
will
miracles.
do what I
Doesn't
must.
matter.
I like
He
kind
will start making his way inside.
of like slap Breck on the shoulder. Good luck. And I will head to bed.
Luck is not exactly the matter, it's merely science.
Sure. No, I get that. Just a phrase.
Nods and starts making his way over to the large dune-sized hole that is currently the front of the carriage.
Well,
Go and
Professor,
allowing-
those cubs you made causing quite a ruckus. They're having a great hunt tonight.
The professor said nothing about what he did.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
He just looked out for werewolves. But yeah, I'll
Yep.
go get Daisy and Harry up and just tell them both, hey, Dune spotted some werewolves out there. It's a full moon, so just be on the lookout.
All right.
If they come this way, let me know. I'll call first dibs.
Right. Anyways.
As you're both awoken, you do see Vrek is currently taking a large tape measure and currently getting measurements along the front of where the dune-sized hole is. Looks over, gives a wave with his small hand, and then continues to go back to his work.
Ah, dude, never change. You chaotic motherfucker.
Daisy and Harry.
Right.
Damn it, I was muted. Now the statement doesn't feel as good. While I'm staring at the dune-sized hole, I'm just thinking, and I say a lot to Daisy. Do we need to build a doggy door for Dune specifically, or?
No, I think a human-sized door works as long as he's not high as a kite.
I mean, I will say there are human-sized doors. You know, I pointed like the normal car door. He didn't really like those ones apparently.
Well, I mean, he was high as a kite, so you know.
Are we gonna have to have an intervention for Dune?
No, I don't think we do. He doesn't smoke it often.
I mean,
I mean-
yeah, he also doesn't tie cursed objects to his weapon often, but you got pretty mad at him for that one.
I mean, Harry, there is a difference between being addicted to a substance and then doing a deal with a major demon.
I mean, hey, demons are demons.
I mean, true.
Hey, real quick, you like looked up all the different material types, right?
Yes, I have knowledge of most of them, not all of them.
Like the magical cannon rocks, essentially. It's just I don't think I didn't note down what all. I know there's the protective, and I know we have our explosive kind that we're using. I don't really remember what the benefits for each were. So maybe I could borrow your notes for that or something, or
Sure. I can hand them over to you again. So Daisy will pull out her former diary and now journal and flip to the page of the Cannon Rock information that she has for now. And pass it on to Harry to copy.
All right. What do you have currently?
So I have that the land of the Ruby Skydrake, called Yatini, has the lift Cannon Rock. The Lost Lands of Tristan Tier have the protective Cannon Rock called Santor. I have the Dozen Souls Tundra, or Cantulian, has a Ice Cannon Rock type. Koinos obviously has the Explosive Fire Cannon Rock. Vadar Inis has Vanium, that we also know as Warpine. There's apparently one in the Land of Glass, although I don't know what it is, and then the one from Essrena that is a pitch black material.
Do any of this seems to mesh with Alexandrite, since she said that I knew what that one was? Because I didn't hear one that like amplifies enchantments on any of those.
Sorry, was that to me?
Yeah, because you said earlier that like I would know Alexandrite enhances magical abilities, but like I didn't hear any of that stated in any of these. So
Essrena, yes.
or Estrian, sorry. Was that stated? Or did I...
No. Essrena has not been checked out until now because you've only seen the effects of Essrena through the Sword of Tullius.
So with what I know about it, does it seem to be any of the ones he has without a name?
Yes. You would know that the only one that is currently missing a name right now is the one from the Land of Glass.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When you said glass, my brain was like, that sounds like an amplifier. Okay.
I'm back.
So
Absolutely.
Yes, Harry?
how do I spell that, Rob?
Which one? The
The
Land of
S-
Glass?
No,
Or
the
Essrena?
S. Yeah, Estrian, Esrinite, or S. So I will point at the Land of Glass one, which I don't believe you have a name for on your notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this one I believe is Estrian. Is like the or like the material's name called
Is it-
Estrian.
You
Pitch
know
black
that
one?
Estera is Essrena.
And that's the black material that
That's the
Tullius's
black
weapons were made, right?
material.
Yeah.
That's the black material that Tullius's weapons and a lot of the armor and weapons of the Royal is made out of.
Yeah, that's the last one I told Harry about.
Yeah, you said it was black, but you didn't say a name.
No, I did say
Uh,
the Styron one, but obviously didn't know it was Esrian.
Oh,
yes.
okay, that was my mistake.
The name of the material from the Land of Glass, unknown.
Yeah, neither do we know the name for the one in the Soul Tundra. We also don't know that one. Or the one from Yatini.
That is true.
Yeah, we only know what those two do, but not their names.
I think maybe I have an idea to do something with this material specifically.
By all means, do tell.
To save time for everyone else, it's basically me throwing the idea to you what I was just PMing you about a second ago.
Okay.
That's why I was talking to you about it, because I was gonna stack the watch
Okay.
with you and talk about it. But yeah, basically, I'm talking to Dan or Daisy about the idea that I have to make essentially a channeling orb for area of effect spells, and I need some material that's going to enhance spells, but then also hold a spell.
Daisy
like-
would remark that why not use multiple rings of storing and just change them out whenever you need another spell.
Because I don't know how to actually implement the ring. Maybe someday, but I don't know how. I could use more training on tinkering with magical items, and I don't fully know what is or is not within my wheelhouse yet. So right now
Freya
it's just
could
an
help you there.
idea. So it's just it's an idea right now. I think I have the like idea and maybe like the materials that I might need to do it, but I don't actually know if it's even possible. So if you
Well,
happen to find out about some of that material or you see it somewhere, I'd like to maybe get some of that to work with.
well, if we manage to survive the coming morrows, manage to make it back the rest of it, I was planning on suggesting a little mining trip.
Yeah, as long as we don't have any time deadlines to set up, because like right now we're kind of tight on a lot of deadlines.
I mean, yes, that's what I meant after Avon, but the green will continue to expand, but I still have yet to think of a proper solution that would benefit both parties. So for now, it can continue growing. But at the same time, if we want to, like, for example, mine some of that nice protective cannon rock, we will have to go into the Lost Lands. And probably have to deal with the green again.
Am I reading this right that I'm part of this watch?
Yes, you are.
Have I heard of Assyrian or Essrena?
Essrena, very, very little. Basically in small conversations, with Ilne, when you were speaking with her in
You mean when I
Anikotal.
saved her?
Yes. You would remember that she spoke about her blade, which her great sword is actually made out of Essrena.
Right. And it
You
was
immediately be like drawn to it and like say, "Hey, oh, what's that? Like, what is it made out of?" Because you've never seen it before. And you would immediately be told that it would be the capital's like material.
Okay.
Usually granted to very high esteemed members.
And I probably would have asked, so where do I find it? And she would have said, I'm not telling.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you actually asked, like, oh, where's the actual like, details of where you get the stuff, she'd be like, I can't tell you that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I would have
I
shared
love
it.
you, but no.
Yeah. I mean, I only saved your life, but whatever, take the egg. Anyway, yeah, I would have shared any information I had once I heard Harry was looking for it.
He would gladly share her notes of Rek as well about all the material she knows.
Oh, that's what I'm doing for the rest of my watch.
All right.
Reading any materials Daisy gave. Reading the info on any materials.
Yeah. I also want to send a quick sending to the professor's dad and let him know that we plan to bury the keys of the car below the car so that when Philippe comes around, he has to grab it from below the car.
Just put it in the sun visor. Sorry, I'm asleep. Never mind. Scratch that.
No, we're
You should
burying
probably-
that bitch.
You should probably bury it near a tire. That'd probably be the most reasonable place.
Yeah, we'll
to
bury it next to the left tire.
Okay.
There's two
Left front tire.
There you go.
Sending the message to him. After a moment, you will hear him respond. Miss Amarellis, thank you. Wonderful to hear that you're well. Currently traveling to safe house off plane. Good luck.
All right. I wonder which plane he is going to. I would hear Daisy say out loud.
What? Plane? What?
Oh, Professor's father is going off plane to his safe house. So you won't be able to contact him for however long he's in the safe house.
I hope it's not the fire plane. I hear it's kind of spicy though.
And you could say the water plane is quite drowny.
It's a little damp.
You know, just drowning away. Anyways, and then the other thing I would do during my turn is I would cast as a ritual commune. And since it's a new day, it does not fail.
Okay.
And the 3 rapid fire questions are we as a group fully prepared to enter Avine quietly?
Sorry, what was that?
The question is, are we as a group fully prepared to enter Avine quietly?
Hmm.
Are we ever truly prepared though?
Some of us are, and then Vannon opens his mouth. I mean,
And then I befriend some giants and
Is that all for the rest of your shift?
No, oh no, I did you say yes or no? Because I didn't hear it.
That depends if everyone is actually ready to go, because I believe that you are
he
all
cast
prepared.
commune.
Yeah, that was the commune. Yeah, that was part of the commune.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
cool.
Rob,
that's a
welcome
nice
to the
spell.
game. It's
Anyway.
called D&D. There's spell.
Yeah.
As I said, I
Sorry,
cast
I'm
commune.
also answering. I'm also answering things
Yeah.
on the side. I have a lot of whispers happening right now. Okay, so you contact your deity or divine proxy and ask 3 questions. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So first one, are we as a group fully prepared to enter Avon quietly?
Unclear.
Okay. Second, is the princess heavily guarded?
Yes.
Is the princess underground?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm going for the other Russian roulette, second commune.
Okay.
So this one has a 25% chance of failing.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me a D100. High or low?
So for low to be bad or high to be bad?
High to be bad or low to be bad?
Low bad.
Low bad. So 25 or lower, this does not work. It goes through.
Yeah. Right. Is the Kenku we're looking for also in the same prison as the princess?
Yes.
Is the drow we are looking for also in the same prison?
No.
Is the drow... No, not the drow. Is the kobold we're looking for guarding the prison?
Yes.
Alright. I won't risk it, but I would let Harry know that our rescue mission and his bounty have aligned. And I would also copy off his notes. That's it.
Yeah, so basically, Daisy and I are exchanging notes, so Daisy
Oh, and
also
Breck as
gets
well.
free access. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I let him have my notes. I'm not 100% sure on
Breck
that one.
detonates the bomb.
Wow.
Yeah, well, definitely Breck is getting Daisy's notes, and then Daisy's getting Harry's notes, and then Breck gets Harry's notes from Daisy's notes. It's a daisy chain. Of knowledge.
See what you did there?
Wow.
See what you did there?
Wow.
A daisy chain.
I also detonate the explosives.
Good call.
It's
Breck
the second
accepts
time
it.
I've done it. The first time I was doing the ambush.
Rob just quits.
Yep. That pun was fucking horrible. I hate you so much.
Fuck this shit, he's at.
Oh my god, it's a damage.
He's been here.
I mean, a cat.
It is.
Meow. I apologize ahead of time, Dan.
So will that be the end of your shift?
Mine indeed is the end.
Okay. Vannon, you'll be awakened. You are
Who's the
by
one
yourself.
actually waking me up?
That's a good question. Who is the one waking you up?
I'd wake him up.
Yeah, if Breck wants nothing to do with him, it'd be Daisy.
Daisy, you walk over to the main bedroom, where you do see the professor has probably set himself down, and you do see that Van is currently in a meditative state in one of the chairs to the side, currently watching the doorways you step through.
Oi, it's your shift. Beware of werewolves.
Daisy, on the cusp of your hearing, you can hear this very faint sound of dripping.
Okay, from where? I would
Seems
look
to be
in the general
coming
direction.
from Vannon, or at least the genuine direction of Vannon.
What does the room smell like?
Perception check.
Did it? 28.
You step in for a moment and you take a quick inhale. Irony. Almost like blood.
Want to check if Vannon is alive.
You go over. He's currently in the chair. Eyes currently closed.
I check for a pulse. On his wrist.
Okay. Vannon, during your meditation, you feel something grabbing a hold of your.
Would he recognize anything like the smell of Daisy or anything like that?
You would recognize the smell, the genuine perfume that Daisy usually.
You smell lavender.
Bannon just goes, "Hello, Daisy."
Oh, so you're alive. She retracts her hand.
Drip.
Oh, and he was truly alive.
Drip. And you look down, Daisy, and the dripping sound, you'll see what seems to be a very large pool of blood that seems to be dripping from Vannon's dagger that he is still currently holding in one hand.
From the dagger itself, he said.
From the dagger itself.
I remember hearing a voice from this dagger before, back in Anikotal. So I'm sure it's cursed. So I look at Van and look at dagger, and I'm like, tell it not to bleed on the floor. Breck will have to clean it later.
Yeah, but he's good at that.
Your shift. Daisy walks out the room.
Fine, I'll head up.
All
Out,
right.
I guess.
Make your way out. Go ahead and roll me your perception or survival check. Perfect. Looking around, occasionally hearing this like giggling and chuckling in the back of your head whenever a loose thought enters your mind or you allow your mind to empty into nothing, allowing that slight presence to slowly grow, continuously sending small exchanges of occasional words of, "Don't worry, it'll all be over soon. This is merely just the finale to the show." As the continuous dripping echoes out next to you. You will know that usually that will disappear when the blade is sheathed. You listen out, watching your surroundings, and you do see occasionally the signs of groups of bandits and thieves moving around. You'll see what seems to be one small individual moving over to your small group of stones and rocks, looks around a moment, checks their bag for a moment, and quickly begins to dash away.
Must resist. Must resist killing.
You look over, see the hooded figure rushing off, and then eventually hide behind a pair of rocks out of your vision.
Do I see which set of rocks?
A good like set of rocks, maybe maybe 4, maybe 500 foot away, out of sight. You can see that there's maybe a collective other group of stones that seem to be another few 100 feet away from that one that you could probably assume is probably the same direction that they're heading. You will also see what seems to be, as you're watching over, as you are keeping a very close eye surrounding your area, you'll look up for a moment as a slight shadow eclipses the moon. And you'll see for a moment 1, 2, 3, 4 shadows.
From above or from like out on the ground level?
From above.
Ooh,
Directly over you. flying over from the south, heading directly towards north.
Would these be actually? I'm gonna use my blue dragon armor and see if there's any blue dragons nearby.
Yes.
As they're close. Remember health distance.
I guess 3 miles.
3 miles?
It's like 10 or 30 miles. It's something crazy.
Oh, okay. never
Yeah, it's
mind.
like 30 miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm way wrong.
I think you know the general direction. You don't know the distance with the armor, if I remember right.
Hold on. Let me get it. It
30
is
miles.
30 miles. Yes. You do feel the presence of a blue dragon within 30
You discern the
miles.
distance to the closest dragon, so I know how far it is, up to 30 miles.
It is the one of the ones currently flying
Hold on, did you say flying toward you?
towards Avin.
Oh, okay.
They went over the area that you guys were in, eclipsing the moon and seemingly heading towards Avin. 4 of them. And you know that at least one of them is a blue.
Guess the blue dragon went home.
The hours pass. Moon slowly begins to descend as you do hear very distant sounds of howling echoing out into the air, only to build and build into seemingly a pack of howls. Which seems to be in the certain direction of the unknown barricade.
And as we're off then, great.
There's a huge number of burrows right over this way.
Unless you have anything that you're wishing to do, Vannon, during the last little bit of your shift, then I will say that your long rest will be done. If you have lost any hit dice, then you can regain half of the hit dice. If you've lost any sanity, you can regain 2 sanity points. Interesting rolls for the new start of the day. If you have anything that you get towards the new dawn, you are able to get that now.
Like a good bowel movement.
Perhaps.
Constitution,
Who
right?
knows? Constitution, yes.
Nope.
Nope, definitely not.
Nope, I do not have a good BM. Okay.
Needless to say, Vrek is having one of the worst, one of the worst mornings known.
I'm not used to being in this kind of heat. I'm usually underground. I'm a little constipated.
The sun's in your eyes.
Yeah.
Every excuse under the sun.
I left the oven on.
Vrek, we need to go, but I need to finish.
Rick, why don't you spill a couple of dozen little robots to go in there and clean it out for you?
I'll have to make those.
Dung beetles.
So, what's the plan? New day. New start. The car is in the collective of stones. For now.
Bury the key on the left front wheel.
Hold on. Two things. Is do I think, like, can we get closer to the city safely in this car? Do I think? Like, can we even see the city yet?
It is rather distant, but you do see
Okay.
what seems to be the makings of a few buildings that are currently surrounding what seems to be the foundations of a civilization.
Okay. How far away is it, like time wise?
You see that the first buildings could be maybe an hour from you,
1 hour walk?
an hour drive.
How long to walk?
If you're going by camel, it could be maybe like 45 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Then might as well leave it here. And second, do I like I'm assume I like werewolf lore in general is kind of common. Do like are they active in anything but a full moon in this world?
Roll me a history check.
Okay.
Usually it depends on the state of the werewolf. If they are of the rampaging state, where they are no longer in control of their own, like ability to change, then they could essentially maintain their form. They are
Definitely.
dying. Yeah, indefinitely.
It did, like I saw this work once before, right? A long time
Once.
ago. Did
Long
it?
time ago.
Did like in my mind, do I feel like it created a regular or like or a rampaging where like or is that am I unable to
You,
just
from your experience, what you saw was close to a rampaging one, because when you saw the change happen, you
yeah.
essentially were pulled out of the room and the door was closed because something didn't go as planned.
Sure. Okay. All right.
However, you do know, based on the research and the basis that, like, all the information from your father about the situation, is the fact that he had been away for a number of days to deal with that particular situation.
Okay. All right. Yeah, guys, we might I might have created a small problem, so we should try to limit the time we spend in Avon.
What did you do?
Dude, how many werewolves did you see last night?
2.
Okay, so I may have created the first one, and this place could be infested with werewolves inside of like a week. With those
That sounds like
bandits.
a great time to me.
Dune,
Yes.
you would actually have a little bit of information. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah, it does.
Oh, my favorite. I'm great at these. Oh, not bad.
14. You would remember, especially given the fact that you know who your big, like, fuck off person is. You don't want to be dealing, like, offhanded against this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that usually, like, non-magical weapons don't work too well
Right.
against werewolves. Silver weapons and magical weapons usually do pretty decent.
Okay.
You've encountered a lot of bandits around here. They ain't
Yeah.
carrying that kind of arsenal.
Yeah, this is which is
So what you're saying is, I know we could have a serious problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I should think about it. I was like, yeah, Professor, you might have screwed
There's a
off
lot of
Aiden.
fodder up.
No,
Well, hey, okay.
no.
Flip side of the
Listen to me. You might have just screwed Avon. I am not even gonna lie to you there. If they don't have any silver or magical weapons, they are done.
Oh.
The bandits around here, they're gonna be gone in like a week.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's my concern. Is
The
there's
bandits
plenty of
being
fodder.
gone is good. However,
But then
Avon
replaced with
being the
werewolves.
base, I mean Avon being the base of our enemy, that are magic
Oh yeah,
adapted,
yeah. The city.
dragons, magic, dark paladins. The
I'm just
city
saying.
center itself will more than likely be fine. The
I
bandits
I
getting
think
dealt
so.
with by werewolves, that's fine.
You're forgetting about the civilians traveling.
The
That
number of
is
bandits.
the problem, indeed.
The number is concerned. Like they could. I don't think they could overwhelm the city, but they could make a pretty earnest attempt at it. It's kind of.
I also let you know, I communicated with my deity last night. I learned a few important things to know. One,
Mhm.
the Kenko we are looking for is in the same prison as the princess.
Okay.
Also, the kobold Harry is looking for is guarding said prison. Said prison is
Even nicer.
underground. Said prison is heavily guarded.
Okay. Anything about
Okay.
the fourth target?
Our drow friend is not in that prison,
Okay.
so I was able to glean.
Well, 3 out of 4 is a good number, so I think that's good odds for us.
Yeah, it's a good case scenario for sure. So the flip side of the werewolf coin is it could potentially create an excellent diversion for us given a day or so to fester.
That's true. If it gets bad
Then we got to
enough,
get the hell out.
well, if it gets bad enough, they could send up patrols to take care of the werewolf den.
Which weakens the enemy's manpower in the center of the city.
Yes.
Let us buy time. Let's just walk into a van, find a place to set up shop, scout out the location of the prison, see how we can get inside quietly, and then hopefully the werewolves will have helped us in some way. However, assuming that this prison is connected to the main base, we have to be careful with those dragon riders. You also have to be careful with any archdrake who may be present in the city. That and any members of the Shattered Bolt and the Chambers. We don't know if the Grandmaster is in a Vin. After all, we only dealt with a construct, not his actual body.
Yeah, that was a lot
We
of
don't
them.
know if Silas has already resurrected, and if he's in the city. There's a lot of unknowns. So we should be as quiet as possible and gather as much information as possible.
Agreed.
Fine.
You'll get your time to slaughter, Dune. But
Wait, here's the thing. Wait, I had a thought of this. If we're going after the Cobalt too, how are we supposed to do that quietly? He's not gonna come quietly.
see, that's the thing. It won't be quiet at that point once we have to engage the kobold.
But at that point, then people would might know we're there, right?
Yes.
Then it could just turn into a shit show at that point.
Yes, and that's where we have to either quietly deal with the kobold, or in the ensuing chaos, having fought him down when we tried to escape via the ship, we sail as fast as possible out of this fucking town.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that. Easy, do you have
Sounds
you-
pretty good.
You have access to the silence spell, don't you? If you wanted to.
I did, but I have not prepared it today.
No, not for today. I'm just saying maybe if we can get the kobold alone and jump him inside silence, that might be an option.
That can be done. Or try it at least.
That means you guys should stay outside the circle, right? This is how that works.
Silence has a radius, and everything inside of it does not produce sound.
Yes.
All thunder damage, everything that is thundering does not affect anyone inside, since thunder is a sound after all.
Yeah, like me and you would jump him inside of it and try to pin him down or hold him there, and then it would rain
You guys
attacks.
not that easy, right?
Yeah, I doubt it. I'm just throwing it out as an option. Like silence might be useful for a lot of
Also,
things actually coming up.
Did you say you were gonna jump him? Really, Nine Toes?
Well, with you, not by myself. What's that? Yeah, you and
Professor,
me.
I kind of like grab the professor's arm and kind of like dangle and look at his arms, like, no offense, but you don't have any muscles at all.
No, but then Presser like reaches into his pack and pulls like the first half of that net out. But we got this though. If you can knock him to the ground and I hit him with this net, he isn't going anywhere.
I think I can do that.
Just, kind of early planning stages. Just, I mean, we might be hard pressed to get him alone, but we'll see.
Most likely. All right then. Solid plan. I'm cool with it.
Right, let's get to the city first and scout it out as best as possible. Remember, don't leave your coin out. This is a city that is lawless.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have your
We
disguise
should
on now, you should probably put it
put
on.
all the gold,
Yes.
all of our leftover gold in the pouch, and like the bag of holding.
Put on your
Put it in the
earrings. Remember, these
Okay,
are
yeah,
telepathy
get back on.
rings.
Oh yeah. That's right, the earrings.
Yes, because remember, people in these outfits do not talk.
I don't
I
know
should
if my
probably
ears
buy
are
one
pierced
off.
though.
Then use it as a brooch. A brooch of hearing.
Brooch of hearing.
Rob, I'll take off my earring and then put it in a pocket close to my chest, and then I'll put the other one in my other ear.
Okay.
Well, don my disguise and put my earring on.
Remember to drink your wine, since we are now going outside the coin.
Yeah, how many doses is it? Do we need for the day?
5.
What? 5? 5, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh no, for this, it's 8 hours for, so might
8
be
hours.
twice.
You do believe that you'll probably need to travel at least maybe half the day, so maybe at least 2 doses per person.
Yeah, so it'd be 10 because I have the cinder
Okay.
clasp, so I'm fine.
Now we have 5 days left on all our edibles too. The hot pot and the dumpling. Where's the
Should be enough days.
So 10. Oh yeah, we got plenty of wine left. 139 doses left. How many was it per bottle, Rob? 10? No.
20.
20 doses
There were
per bottle?
20
Okay.
doses per bottle.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so we can drop. Went from 9 bottles to what? 7?
8.5.
Is it 20? We had 180 total, and we're at 139. So that's 2 bottles. Yeah, it'd be 7. We got 7 bottles left.
Okay. I thought you meant actual at the moment.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get on getting on.
Alright. I stolen camels.
I'm grouping the group token away from the car.
No, not the hot rod.
We'll see it again. We will see it again. However,
Yeah,
we will leave it here for now.
So what was the total? How well was Rec able to restore the whole car, like overall interior? and exterior?
Pretty well.
Okay.
Oh no, it is drowning.
Dropped in the
It
water.
is still drowning.
It's going to Atlantis, don't worry, boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be put
It
over
is
here.
still drowning.
Oh no.
Glug, glug, glug,
When
glug,
your Uber driver is
Like,
lost.
You know, I'll put it over here. Yeah, let's sit right there.
Okay, we've installed GPS in the car. We're gonna travel to whatever the thing's on now. We now know there's something there. We're over fourth wall break.
There's always been something behind that flag.
Meow.
Meow.
That's the secret exit in Mario.
Indeed.
The Essrena banner.
So
What's the hold on? If before we go, what's the story for the group if we get stopped and asked what we're doing? For some reason.
Well, we're a band of misfits.
I thought we couldn't talk.
Actually,
why
I
does
can't
it
tell. Like,
matter?
what do you mean?
I'm sure
You
they
know sign
communicate
language,
somehow.
Professor.
No, I don't. If we
Mm.
get stopped or if we get pressed to talking, what would we should probably come up with at least a believable reason that we're here now.
Can we really quick talk knowledge-wise? Is there any point that if we get caught, that talking is the right answer?
Mm.
I
Good
have
Because
no
question.
idea.
because wasn't the statement that these people don't talk?
Oh yeah, like what do we know, Rob? Like, do they ever talk? Or good point. Actually,
You
here.
would know that a lot of the praisers and a lot of the individuals that wear the masks usually do not talk a lot. A lot of them owe a vow of silence. However, a lot of individuals that are traders and merchants also wear these masks and cloaks as a way of traversing through these lands without being recognized. So usually, whenever people get into Avin, a lot of people are able to commune with each other. From what, at least from
I
what
have
you
a
know.
stupid question.
Yes.
When during our time at what was it? The Estira, the
Hmm.
Left City, and then just general Van's history. Would he know the funeral rites and or funeral process?
Of.
Of the people with the masks and stuff?
The funeral rites
Mm-hmm.
usually. Roll me a history check.
31.
Yeah. You would have probably heard and discussed a few things amongst some of the nobility and listened into a few conversations. That most of the funeral rites are in some form of cremation.
Is
Offering
he
themselves
cremating
back
at
into the
a
land.
specific spot?
Usually under the usually under one of the statues of the Seven Sisters. Um Otherwise it would be usually offered to the sea itself,
Okay. Follow-up
somehow
question.
offering themselves back into the land by any measure.
Is there a statue of one of the Seven Sisters at Avon?
You when you did originally cross over with Ollie, you did see that there was a few statues of the Seven Sisters that were littered among the streets. Um, you didn't exactly take time to check any of the details of them, however. You just saw that there were a few statues that did relate to the Seven Sisters.
All right. So stupid idea.
You keep on using those words.
Okay. So I can cast Feign Death on someone, so they will look and actually feel like they're dead, and we can literally carry the body into town as a funeral procession.
Okay, I'm gonna message in Players Tavern why I think that's a bad idea, just to not give Rob any ideas.
Maybe also think it's probably drawing more attention than we need. I mean, it's an interesting idea.
Okay, I just saw Vikings. All right, so
Sure.
Fair.
Sure, yeah, there you go.
That's my only issue with that.
I mean, I don't actually see that's a bad thing.
Well, of course you wouldn't. Oh. But
Why
also,
don't we just?
KB has a point that it might bring more attention than needed. We could just try and just
Could we
blend
not?
in.
Yeah, could we not just stick? If we even get stopped, couldn't we just stick to the original merchant thing? Like we have the paper,
Yeah,
right,
that'd work.
from
Yeah.
the that we got earlier. That I think it was transporting people, right?
Then you're the merchant.
Sure. Yeah. If we get asked, I think that'd be simpler.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, that works.
Plus, yeah, like the funeral idea is interesting, but then we'd have a person down, right? Like, how long does it take to wear off if you don't uncast it?
I would
Like,
imagine it's a concentration.
is it
No,
concentration?
I just had to touch them.
Oh.
Okay.
I use an action to touch it, and that's it. Touch them, and that's it. But during the time, they have full resistance to everything except for psychic damage.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay, that could be really good in the right situation. You do it to yourself?
Yeah. Well.
Yes.
Yeah. Because then the time just runs out.
Okay. How long? No, actually, don't tell me. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. The only problem with doing it to yourself is nobody could touch you awake. I think it has to be the caster that touches you.
Yeah. Yep. I have the spell. I was just curious to try and use it for once. One of the most useless
Sure.
spells.
Yeah.
One
It's
day.
good. It's really good for good like
Oh,
espionage RP
I-
or stuff like
I
that.
just had an
but-
idea. Let me. I'll type it on in tavern.
Yeah. He cannot
Everyone's
know our
discussing
secrets.
things during breakfast. Everyone's just like,
I mean, yeah,
"Hey,
that
I've
could
got this
work.
plan. Hey, I've got this plan. I got
Yeah.
this plan."
Yeah,
Oh, that's an
right,
option
right.
too. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good idea.
Rushing inside of the car, getting as much food as you can from the kitchen before heading out.
I think we could convince them.
Yeah, that would be a good use of it.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll type it in the
But-
chat.
I think this actually works. We managed to pull it off. This works.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's not concentration.
Yeah,
It actually
just,
is even a
Not.
ritual too.
no, yeah.
Okay.
So the first one could be free, and then after that, it's just. Actually, I guess they could all be free if we had enough time.
Yeah, so that's definitely an option.
All right, leaving the car behind. Everyone takes a swig of wine.
What's it taste like?
I believe
Was it a
this
fireball?
one is like the fireball, like cinnamon,
Yeah.
whiskey, cinnamon whiskey kind of like style.
That's a shot drink. Okay.
That is a shot drink.
Everyone downs it, feels the rush and sudden dispersing of heat slowly fading away, creating an almost cooling sensation. You guys will give the eventual pat on the wagon, leaving it behind in the large crags, hoping that Fleep is able to get to it as soon as he can. Who is leading the charge?
Well, since it's my camels, I go in the front.
I can assist you with any navigation, so I can assist survivals. Or I
That
can do
works.
survivals and you assist me, whichever one.
I shall do the survival.
Survival with advantage, please.
24.
Your survival is not better than mine, but probably roll better than
Let's see. Go ahead and roll me a d10, please.
with a natural 10.
2.
Two.
Dan, you almost got as far as possible.
Okay. You guys are traveling along. The occasional sign of one of the large towers surrounded by ruins. You'll see the signs of a few figures moving around inside, the sound of neighing horses braying out into the air, as occasionally you'll see one person peeking out, looking around from the tops of the rooftops, and nearby walls keeping an eye out. As you move along, try and remain unnoticed, Daisy, you'll actually see moving along alongside some of these towers what seems to be a larger figure, standing maybe 7, maybe 8 foot tall, and is currently maneuvering around, even though he's reasonably on the taller side, is currently doing his best to try and remain unnoticed.
What type of individual is this, given their tall stature? Is it
You
like a
can see,
Goliath or something like that?
yes, grayish like skin that seems to cover the face, mostly bald. From what you can see, a few small tattoos that seem to be lining along the shoulders and arms, a few little pieces of what seems to be either weapons or something. You're not entirely sure, but it's very Goliath-like in nature. And it seems very strange for someone who's very mountainous to be in this kind of place.
I would let the party know.
Okay. So I guess with that information, does Harry have any information that maybe he might be able to add to it?
Looking through the scope. You'll see what seems to be maybe some leather like armor that seems to be covering him. You can see what seems to be definitely pieces of like what seems to be multiple vials that seem to be covering a belt. You'll see chainmail as well. What seems to be dangling pieces of stone alongside the vials. Go ahead and give me a perception check, please, Harry.
Hey.
Getting the lens and aligning it to magnify perfectly. You magnify in on the stones next to the vials, and you can see what seems to be embedded runes resting on the stones that seem to align alongside the belt.
I'll pass on that information and like add the bits about the runes and stuff so that everybody else knows about them too.
It's like the stones are just like runes?
They seem to be runes that have been attached to the belt to make sure that they are not pulled away from the wearer. You'll see that they are currently maneuvering themselves, sticking to the shadows, quickly moving between spaces where there's open, like there's open areas where there's no cover. He's quickly maneuvering around, like very obviously used to being in open doors and out exploration. And at this moment in time, you see that he is alone, continuously moving. You see him like go over to one of the nearby towers. You'll see him look up where a sentry, one of the bandits, moves over, brings his crossbow over, and you'll see him duck around over to one side of the tower and quickly rush around to a particular set of cover where he's easily able to duck down, even though he's reasonably large in size.
Does his like stone around his belt remind me of like the cultist of Shaw? In any way, like they had these like stone weapons and stuff.
No. What languages do you understand?
Draconic, primordial, and common.
Harry?
Oh no, he might be muted.
Oh, no. Daisy, you do not recognize the language.
Hmm. He's probably like giant or something then. If he's a Goliath, that is.
If you need me to, I can look for you, Rob.
Wait, wasn't Harry the only one who actually knew giant?
No.
I need
trolls.
dwarven.
Give me a second. I had to pay attention to something else for a second. I'm kind of here, but I'm not really here. So just give you need to give me a minute. Sorry.
He knows Dwarvish and Gnomish.
No giant. Sedge.
No.
And the individual is fighting the towers per se. Where they like band themselves.
You do see occasionally where, like, passing by groups of horse-ridden bandits would occasionally come up to some of these towers, show like a few barrages, and occasionally there would be some retaliation back from what you've seen. But this individual doesn't seem to be showing any major aggression.
I asked the party if we want to see if this individual is stranded and needs a way to get somewhere. Since they don't seem to be a normal bandit per se.
That'd be a trap.
Then we just kill all the bandits like we did yesterday. What's the difference?
Difference is if I go rage, then I won't destroy my disguise.
I mean, it's a quick disguise to take off, dude.
Daisy.
Mm.
You'll notice the Goliath-like individual now hidden behind like what seems to be a small like raised pile of stones. Seems to have stopped his motions and seems to be peering back in your direction.
All right. But all along he's been trying to avoid the towers or just use them as cover?
Kind of the same. He seems to be using them as cover, but mostly avoiding any conflict from anyone inside. It's as if he's aware that he's currently outnumbered, especially being alone, and doesn't want to be dealing with conflict where he's gonna be outnumbered and possibly outmanned. He's
Okay.
traveling along understanding his circumstances.
So, okay. So for like sending, right? It says a creature which you are familiar with. So having seen this person does not make me not familiar with them, right?
No.
Okay, so that wouldn't work. I would need message, and I do not have message.
How far away are they?
Maybe 500, maybe 600 feet away.
Okay.
Currently.
Yeah, I'd tell Daisy in her head. I do not feel that they are pertinent to our current cause.
Yes, but they could be useful to getting into Avon, if that's where they're headed, that is. That was what was on my mind.
So what is he doing?
Honestly, avoiding trouble. So that's why I wanted to see if he was just stranded and needed help.
Sure.
You see the figure rummaging for a moment. They see like they're looking into their pack for something behind the stones.
Go ask.
Harry.
He may not be back.
Damn. Daisy,
Yeah.
maybe you might be actually able to understand this.
Alright.
Roll me a. Ooh, this is a tough one. Roll me a history check, please.
16. Rolled a 9.
Okay. You see the Goliath individual reach out and pull out what seems to be a small mirror and seem to flash the sunlight in your direction.
Is he trying to like a Morse code or something?
And you see him flash, and then turn the mirror to send the sunlight towards what seems to be a small rundown farmhouse, maybe 1,000 foot from your direction. That seems to be separated away from the towers. Harry, looking through the lens of your scope and aiming it towards the individual, you're immediately flashbanged from the sudden sunlight that goes through your scope, pulled back for a moment, taking a blinking second to gather your bearings. You do see the flash of the mirror and gain an idea that there is some form of message trying to be transmitted from this individual. After a moment, when it seems you've shown some form of recognition, you see Goliath once again stand up and maneuver and start to make its way around some of the nearby towers, but moving in the general direction of the rundown farmhouse.
I would use the earrings and tell the party I'm moving us to that farmhouse. I'm curious now.
I will follow Daisy.
Okay.
I need everyone to roll me stealth checks real quick, please.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good group stealth check.
I think Park's AFK?
He is, yes.
Yeah.
20s, like, right? Like 21, 22.
I mean, well, a lot of us rolled like gods. No, we
Yeah,
just need to see what Vrek rolls when he comes back.
Stealth check.
Stealth check.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a good thing I have disadvantage on these.
God damn it, we had such a good average.
There's everyone, then there's Vrek.
I'll
yeah.
I'll throw a 5 on it.
Hell
Nice.
yeah. Hell
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're like 20 or 21, 22 for sure. Our best group stealth check ever.
Did we get a nat 20 or a negative or a nat 1? No.
Everybody rolling like gods.
All right.
Actually,
Oh.
with this stealth check, we are in disguise, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm proficient with the disguise kit, right? How are we stealthing?
Trying to not draw attention to yourselves while on the back of camels.
Trying to think if there's a tool that can help me with this, and I can add another 4 to it. I'll leave it at 18. I can't think of anything other than a disguise kit, and I didn't really make this disguise, so. I mean, I could use it to put like makeup on to make myself darker or more whatever, but I'm not worried about it.
Sure.
Unless you'll give it to me, I'll like.
I will allow this final cat moment to go through.
Oh,
Let's see. So, let's see.
you want to raise the result by 5? Holy cow!
18. I'm gonna just say, yeah, you guys are get through without any issues. With genuine luck, Vrek, you are able to calm down your camel.
Nice.
In the unknown reason, as it started to bleat out into the air, by unknown means, it seemed to calm down after a few cooings and like careful pats on the side. You're able to calm it down as you're able to move away from the towers and follow the individual who seems to essentially throw something against the handle of the door and push himself inside. I'm assuming you all approach.
Yes.
Like, do we know where we're going?
You guys are going to a small rundown farmhouse. You see that most of the fields that were tended to have completely been run down or pressed down by the continuous either riding of horses or just the genuine stealing of the produce. It has not shown any signs of harvest for who knows how long. However, the small single farmhouse is currently standing alone outside of the perimeter of the large towers between itself and Avon. You'll see that there is a singular window that is currently boarded up. However, you'll see occasionally what seems to be small shadows that are shifting around the back of the building, where there's an additional boarded up window. You will notice that the front door that the Goliath had stepped through is partially opened, as if inviting you in.
I'll be the first one to go in.
Yeah, I get off and go after Dune.
Okay. Dune, you step
Mhm.
into the partially open door. The room itself is mostly empty except for a broken down table that is resting on the side, completely covered in dust. On the opposite side of the room, you can currently see, arms crossed over his chest, Jonathan. Go ahead and describe your character real quick, please.
See a approximately 6'8" humanoid, cloaked, chainmail,
There are runes about him, as you've seen just already, but he has what could be declared as a military stance, on guard, but definitely imposing, broad, heavy individual. Kind of a gray skin. What you can see under the hood is bald or shaved, not much hair, and his eyes are watchful for any threats about him. Long sword and a shield at his back, with a staff as well, and a bow draped across. And as you enter, you can tell he knows you're there, but he's peering out a window off to his right, as if looking for potential people following, but knowing that you would be coming through the door.
Once the
So-
eye comes to the door, I'll kind of open it when I come through, so you guys can come through, and I'll kind of give you a nod as you acknowledge our presence coming into the room.
Don't stand out there all day. Is everyone coming in?
I'm letting them come in, and I open the door more for everyone to start filing in.
Well, walk in.
Dune hears in his head, I thought we weren't supposed to talk.
You'll see Dune's face kind of like remember, and he just doesn't remember to stay quiet.
Yeah, Brock will make his way
Daisy
in.
walks in, moves to his side.
Oh, good. Daisy, you're here. Okay.
Daisy, under the hood, you will see this individual. Now getting a closer look at him.
Daisy know this gentleman?
May I ask, who are you?
You can call me Jonathan. Rogish sent me. You guys needed a little help.
Ah, good old Rogish, huh? So what he sent you for?
Just call me the muscle. He said you needed an extra hand. I know Dune's here, but need a little extra muscle.
It's a little early in the conversation, but Rob, can I insight that? See if there's any ulterior motives?
Sure. Roll me an insight check, please.
Okay. Right, hold on. I'll get you outside in a second. I'll take it.
Jonathan,
Mhm.
you are free to message me either persuasion or deception, and then go ahead and roll me a charisma check. Or you can go ahead and DM me or GM roll the roll if you don't mind.
How do I DM roll from D&D Beyond?
I believe there should be a thing in your sheet that should say like public or
Oh,
to GM.
Isn't Park the DM technically in D&D Beyond? Don't you got to do it on Roll20?
Beyond D&D sends it to the GM of the
Oh,
Roll20 you're
okay.
in.
Got ya. Okay. No, that's nice.
now where's this roll?
Wait, I
Where's
got
the roll rule?
You have to go to the add-on, and in the add-on you can actually change it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it this way.
Okay.
Alright, hopefully this works. Going to be
back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This.
Okay. This guy seems very straightforward. Doesn't seem to be bullshitting around. He seems to be very on the task. And doesn't seem to be like stepping around the questions. He seems to be like here to help.
All right. Understood.
Given your bluntness, makes sense Rogish sent you. Reminds me of Olive, in some sense of the word.
I'll take your word on that.
Also, I'd like to ask you one thing. Even though we are disguised, how did you know that I was who I was?
I was given ample information to find you. And just process of elimination. I'm familiar with tracking down people who need to be found that don't want to be found. And Rogish was he provided information amply.
So I would assume you're a hunter, then.
I've been
Or
known
do
to
you-
hunt men if they do incursions, but I wouldn't call myself a hunter.
So are you a member of the HDM then? One of the exceptions?
Let me see if I've been told.
Let me see here.
Dealt the cards.
So Jonathan, you would remember that Rogish essentially did send you out in exchange for passage
Right.
into this new land. That you'd be essentially allowed to come in. However, this is essentially like a trial. To see if that you are allowed to stick around within Windspear, which is the main confines. Rogish brought you in not only for muscle, but also to make sure that these people got out in one piece, knowing that the HDM themselves personally couldn't put in the effort to send in a force. So they brought you in because of your previous antics and your reputation with your previous
Right.
quests and
But would I be the HDM or trial? How would I describe my answer?
no. You would not be HDM. You would basically be factionless until you chose
Okay.
a faction. You would have had definitely many offers, and Rogish might have actually given you like the exception of the fact to be over 5 foot. However, that was still like up in the air because you were mostly focused on your own particular agenda.
Right. Oh, I don't follow a flag currently. I'm here. You need my help. And I'm offering it. So I'm moderately obligated to provide it, but for other reasons other than just altruism.
I will ask this, Jonathan. Are you wearing your old armor?
Yes.
Okay.
There's only been the one item change, really.
Right.
He doesn't trust
let's
anything
see.
else right now.
So you would recognize, some of you would technically, anyone originally from the Empire would technically recognize some distinctful signs and distinctful memorabilia and emblems of a city within Faerun. So this would be particularly Harry, Daisy, Vannon, and the Professor that would maybe recognize some of the symbolization.
Can I tell from where?
Roll me a history check, please.
History. 24.
You would indeed see the 5-star surrounded by 5 moons of Baldur's Gate.
Huh. A Baldurian. You're far from home.
Not much
Yeah.
home.
What's
Hmm.
a Baldurian?
It's one of the cities back from where we're from, dude.
Your
One of
city's
the
called
more strong
Bulgaria?
powers.
That's weird.
Baldur's Gate is the actual name.
Okay.
Well, since you are factionless and you do have symbols of Baldur's Gate, I'm more inclined to trust you. Though trust is a commodity in these lands.
Jonathan gives you a big white smile, not imposing, but warm, and says, "Oh, you'll find my trust is easy to get."
So if you're here to help, then what kind of alloy would you use for a self-propelled levitation device?
Is that magic?
No.
Oh,
See, because I can't figure out which one to
Um,
use.
I used a kite once.
I looked
Weeze
at
Deuce
Daisy.
did just
He's
check
not
it
here to
out.
help.
I use the teleportation, not teleportation, dumbass, telepathic communication.
Daisy teleports away!
I use the earrings to tell
Daisy is
Rek-
done with Vrek. I'm out.
Daisy tells Vrek using the earrings. Not everyone's a man of science, Vrek. He's a man of action. Like Dune.
Oh, different kind of help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll look at Jonathan and say, well, you're more than welcome to help us after all. How many outfits did the professor's dad give us?
6.
6. Yeah.
Just enough, right?
Just
Yeah.
enough.
Yep. I'm like, shit, that's a wrench in the plans though.
He could be a corpse.
No, but then he gets dragged away if they have some ritual or whatever.
I could put him in the hole.
No, but then he couldn't breathe.
He'll be small.
Then Vannon, can't you like polymorph him into something small?
Or we could just, don't you guys have a fancy spell to like make him look like us or something?
Well, if they have like the same magic that they had in Astera, then
What's
better
in
not.
this farmhouse?
You can see what seems to be in this small front room. What seems to be a broken down table that is currently on the side, currently covered in dust. You do see what seems to be a small side room. That seems to be the remains of what seems to be a small bedroom. As the bed is currently broken down and is also covered in dust on the far side of the room.
Just be our security, I guess.
I'm gonna
Push comes to shove.
start scouring through the building. See if I think I can find any material that might be useful to making a disguise for this thing.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check, please.
Sure, I'm terrible at those too. Actually, I'm pretty good at this. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of an item that would help me here other than my magnifying glass, but even that wouldn't help, so straight up. I'll throw 5 on that for sure.
Okay. 16. You are you look around checking the nearby areas. You do see in the boarded up windows what seems to be the remains of some tattered up curtains, which you immediately gather up. You also find what seems to be a very withered looking skeleton.
Okay.
In the corner of the bedroom. And you do see that they are also wearing some very run-down looking rags, which you also begin to just gather. Apart from that, nothing immediately seems to get your attention.
Is there any metal plates that I could use to make a mask out of? If I had like a smith tool to beat it in.
Walk around. Doesn't seem to be any signs of kitchen area or anything of. just the front room and the bedroom.
What's he doing?
Yeah, you just see Vreck like going around quickly, just gathering things, throwing things around, and
I'll just shake my head. Frack things.
If I had to guess, his brain is working.
then
He's coming up with a plan.
what about
I
Oh,
peer out the window just to see if any tussles alarming anybody.
wooden
Roll me a perception check, please, Jonathan.
something wood that I could use to carve, like decent enough block of wood, about the
There
size
is
of a
indeed
head.
planks of wood that are currently boarding up some of the nearby windows that you can see. You look outside, Jonathan. You do see the occasional patrol of horse riding bandits that do seem to occasionally maneuver around here, which is not surprising since you are right on the perimeter of their territory.
All right, well, he hasn't
Apart from
caused any
that-
alarm yet, but
So
probably
after gathering this stuff
be able
up,
to
yeah, I'll
stop
try and use my disguise kit, as well as if I think I can fashion a mask or something for him. If not, that's fine. But try and make him a quick disguise
Okay.
if I can.
Vrek, you're in the corner, taking one of the boards, starts whittling away, taking some of the fabric and beginning to do your best to do anything you can. Jonathan, again, you look outside. Some of the nearby patrols moving on by. You see one person gets reasonably close, looks over for a moment as if inspecting the farmhouse before you hear an individual shouting out infernal towards the mounted individual and starts riding off again.
presence may not go unnoticed for much longer. That was close.
You hear from the corner, 2 seconds.
Jonathan, do you understand infernal?
I do not.
Okay. So
Giant
during your
elvish.
time here, you've been having quite some trouble since you've known that a lot of the individuals here do speak Infernal as a native language.
Mhm.
Common is mostly secondary and usually is frowned upon in more higher classes of society. But you do know, especially since the Empire has been here for at least 2 years, that it is becoming a lot more known amongst some of the natives to speak Common. But you do know that a lot of the individuals that will be in Avin are well-known Common speakers, since a lot of them are part of the underground organizations of the original Empire, which you would know, I would believe, with your connections and your history. You'd understand the problems and the influence of the Zentar.
Yes. Especially after the last encounter, I definitely did a couple of, you know, dark group researches. So the Zentar definitely came up. Okay.
You would know that the Zentarum have a high influence within Avin at this moment in time. So you would know that usually when it comes to the Empire, you'd have a lot more influence with practicing Common. But when it comes to the more native speakers, it would be usually known for them to speak in Infernal.
Okay.
You would notice that most of the bandits around here are Infernal speakers, but you do occasionally hear the sounds of Common coming from inside of the towers as you did pass them by.
Gotcha. Like patrol
So
shoutouts
far,
and follow
yeah.
ups of. Okay.
It's quite clear that some of the members of these organizations, if they have been drafted out or like exiled from Avin, seem to have been drafted into these empire, like these small bandit-like camps. So far, they do not seem to have been attracted to the farmhouse, probably knowing that there's nothing in for now.
Yeah, after a few minutes, I think I'll get done with my quick makeshift disguise for him.
Yeah, you've made a small wooden mask that is very quickly made. Does show particular marks and like the little like patches, and you do see that it is very rudimentary. There is a very quick clear shine of gray like paint over the front, which is still slowly drying. However, the material that you had gathered when it comes to fabric was only able to make a mostly shoulder-like garb, especially for this individual size.
Right.
So it would cover the head and the shoulders, but right now he seems to be wearing a cloak and hood that seems to be already doing that, if not more.
I'll get up and hand it over to him. All right, well, if he's going to be one of us, this is the best I can do with limited time and materials.
How much does he stick
Jonathan
out?
just slowly grabs it.
How much does that make him
More
stick out from the
masks.
rest of us? Rob, just at a glance.
Hmm?
How much does that make him
Mhm.
stick out from the rest of us, just at a glance?
Very much so.
Okay.
While everyone is completely covered head to toe, and like the shoulders are completely covered all the way down to near the ankles, where only like the feet can be seen if like the cloak was lifted enough. And the masks themselves completely cover the face, showing no facial expression at the front. In comparison, it's a wooden mask that has been painted over with gray paint and a very thin but like almost like a shalm like hood that seems to cover over the shoulders and rest around like the forearm and maybe near the elbow, but not really fully covering the much larger Goliath like individual,
And he
where you
looks
can
like he can.
see the chainmail and the leather
Yeah.
armor and all the other
Weapons.
pieces of equipment that are on display are currently protruding out. It's
Yeah.
very much like pick one out that does not look like the other.
Sure. Yeah. No. I think
That
we should
one.
go with we're merchants, and he's our like security escort. He's
Um,
unbelievable.
that would definitely come across it. It's very rough, very like
Yeah. Exactly.
this is butch. This is our rough guy.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
a
style.
large built individual, and
Yeah.
dense.
Like definitely appreciate the effort in making this guy's wreck, but I think maybe you should just go without one and just say he's our security. We're all merchants.
Would work, yes.
Does that mean I don't have to wear the mask?
I thermoelectric bolt the mask in his hands. Fine.
I thought it was on his face when you first said that.
I think you made
Sorry.
perfect sense.
Jonathan, the mask that was previously on your face, you just see a small crack.
It was in his
beneath the
hand. He
build.
never put it on.
And slowly break away from you, and you're just oh.
Just go as is, Jonathan. I think that's going to be the best approach.
Oh, Sir Jonathan, I hope you know how to ride a camel.
Oh, you don't need to call me sir. Jonathan's just fine. Yeah, I can ride anything with 4 legs.
Alright, Jonathan. Then, let's
As
set
long as
off.
you hang yourself in a fight, I think we'll get along.
I have 4 arms. You can't ride me, right?
I prefer not to.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
Alright, ladies, let's get this show on the road.
I am a man.
All right.
Yes.
Alright.
No, it's a saying from back. Never mind.
Okay.
You make your way forwards using the camels and able to maneuver away as you do hear a few patrolling horse riding like bandits beginning to rush after you as those that do understand Infernal, and there are a few occasional sounds of common echoing out, calling out directly towards you, directing the much larger groups behind you. You are able to maneuver the camels to have them move away and get into Avon's territory, as you do see what seems to be the occasional signs of what seems to be barricades slowly rising up, surrounding what seems to be smaller buildings that surround the inner circles of the darker looking town. You can see what seems to be darker looking buildings, each that seems to be rudimentarily similar to the foundations of the empire. You can see what seems to be dark wooden like rooftops, as well as what seems to be stone like roads that seem to be cobbled and seem to be a very different contrast in comparison to the sand like stone of the Essrena like native land. As you see the Avon slowly expands out into different little corridors and little alleyways, slowly intertwining and winding around what seems to be a center-like building that seems to story up to maybe three stories tall. You can see what seems to be a large like dock that seems to be resting on the southwestern side of the city, which is connected by a large track-like structure. As some of you will see, what seems to be the same like foundations of the Cannon Rock carriage that Respite had been making now seems to be also in production and is currently in maneuverability between Avon and the docks themselves.
Interesting. Oh, just a heads up. I'm pretty sure Loki fell asleep.
I had a feeling
Did he?
it might have happened.
I thought so too.
As you guys are making your way forwards, you do see what seems to be two figures currently rushing up on the back of drakes, which some of you will recognize to be the same dark-like drakes that were currently pulling the carriage that you guys were currently dealing with the ambush within the ravine with Tullius and the previous Zentarum connections. As these two individuals will step forwards, one of them looking around at all of you will look over at you, Jonathan, tilting his head slightly before you'll see the other one stepping down from his drake as well. You there, travelers? What brings you here?
I tell the professor through the earring, "You're up."
Oh, I thought he was looking at Jonathan. He said, "No, oh yeah, yeah." No, the professor will step forward.
He's
We're-
giving Jonathan a bit of a side glance, mostly
Oh, okay.
because he's the obvious like difference between
He's
everyone here.
giving me a queer look.
He's giving you a very like,
Okay.
why are you like so different to everyone here? You are
You
obviously
can't just ask
the one
people why they're
denial.
different.
Our differences make us unique.
But you do see that the one currently on the Drake mount is keeping his eye on Jonathan as the other one steps down off his mount, steps forward. There's no need to hold your silence unless you're one of the practitioners of the faith. If
Yeah,
you're
no-
one of these merchants, then by all means. Oh, you do speak.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. Professor will step forward. Yes. We're merchants.
Fantastic. What exactly are you selling with us today?
Not so much selling, transporting people.
People? Really? And you'll look over towards Jonathan for a moment. Is this the one?
I'm not merchandise.
No, he's our security. This is. I must say, you have you noticed the bandit problem outside of town?
It's not a concern for us. They know their place.
Sure.
Why? Should we be concerned?
Well, I'm just saying it's quite the pain to maneuver through. You can imagine all of us with our one security, our one guard. Tenacious.
Those that are one of the more practitioned have the easier means of getting in here, especially with the right credentials.
Certainly.
Since you're new here, I suppose that it could be an inconvenience to get into this place. But if you're here for trade, and you're here for people, you might have come to the right place. What are you
I
looking
was
for exactly?
And you'll start to walk around, starting to walk alongside his mountain, beginning to walk into the inner borders of Avon.
it's like just going off the look of this place and what I've heard, like it's pretty certainly that they have some form of slavery.
As you are looking around, you do get a few glances inside of some of these streets, and you do see that there are the occasional signs of what seem to be people walking around or beasts of labor maneuvering around.
Sure.
Give me a perception check if you don't
Okay.
mind, especially as you're starting to maneuver closer to some of these streets.
Take it.
Um, Looking around, you do see that occasionally, as you're getting closer and closer, as people are maneuvering around some of the outside streets, you do see that there are indeed small camps where humanoid like figures are currently mining away, currently in rags, are currently pulling away at some of the resources that are currently resting on the surface. You do see that there are beasts of labor currently pulling carts of what seem to be all forms of resources and materials back and forth into all forms of different buildings and structures that seem to be maneuvering from on the surface and also what seems to be underground.
Excellent. Okay.
Um, you will also see that even though you're keeping a very close eye on the people, you will also see that there is a vast number of markings along each and every one of the walls of these buildings that you can see.
And do I assume they're mining cannon rock? Is that correct?
You can see there is very distinctful familiar signs of the darker like material
Okay.
of Esrian. That does seem to be showing in some of the mines that they are currently pulling from.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll just tell them like I'm maybe seeking out a route. You seem to be in constant need of human labor, and the rest of the world is in need of cannon rock. I figured this is a good place to start.
Oh, you're familiar with the resources of the land.
It's becoming quite well known.
I'm sure the Empire and our great Lord himself is more than eager to get his hands on the resources that this new frontier has provided, especially the stuff that can enhance the magics that we have already obtained. Who knows what additional effects that we can find, and what additional effects that we can discover. If you are familiar with this cannon rock, as you say, then yes, I do believe that we could possibly provide something of that measure.
Excellent.
Now, you say that you're looking for transporting people. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of people were you looking for?
Oh, out? I mean, as I said, I'm here hoping to negotiate to see if it's possible to also carry cargo that isn't with the cannon rock. But as I'm leaving, any anyone who wants transport, I'm willing to take on. Again, as I said, I'm seeking out a trade route.
So you're seeking slaves to help you in transportation. Maneuvering Cannon Rock and, of course, obtaining it and gathering it through resource, yes?
Yes, certainly.
Daisy
Well,
would
you
start
have
noticing Vrek is getting very uncomfortable.
As you guys are walking forwards, you are now starting to walk into the streets of Avin and actually getting into the inner workings of the inner city. As I will go ahead and bring you guys into a familiar like map that
New
you may have
map.
seen before.
Yay!
Once before. However, the person that had originally seen it is not currently conscious.
Heck. He hit himself with a spell, man. He's out for how many hours?
He should feign death.
Like the sleep spell, man. It's no joke.
Tis no joke.
Oh, okay. It took me that went over my head. I was like, did Vanon cast on himself? Like we're looking around his It was like,
Wow.
oh shit. Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a couple
R slash whoosh.
Whoosh. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very
As you
familiar with
guys
this map.
are pulled in,
There it is.
there we go. You are guided forwards by two of the nearby guards.
Rob, are these just kind of general people around? Like, are these guys the only ones that appear armed, like openly, or is it kind of a mismatch of?
These ones here are the ones that are openly armed. Everyone that you see with these masks are individuals that just seem to be maneuvering around, walking around, either maneuvering into what seems to be a temple-like structure to the right of you. You can see what seems to be small tents that are being currently raised and lifted up, slowly constructed to create a small marketplace in the center. You'll see armored individuals similar to the chain bearers, Dawn Guard that you had seen before. That seem to be all surrounding different parts of the inner parts of Avin.
I know we have zero line of sight, but Riddler weed dealing raccoon, it looks awesome, by the way.
I know, right?
I agree.
Out of
Like,
completely above board.
You also see. You do also see in the far end what seems to be a large circus tent that is currently resting on the far side of the bazaar. Like tent stalls that you can see as the currently mounted guards will make their way forwards.
Well, by all means, enjoy yourself. If you're wishing to find whatever takes your fancy, you'll find it here. As long as you have the coin. Just
Excellent.
don't get yourself in trouble.
No, no, furthest thing from my mind. And could you recommend a place that would have decent lodging for all of us?
Perhaps if you are wishing for more confined and secure lodging, a place that I'd recommend would probably be, the fire drop casket.
Excellent. That sounds perfect. Professor, what kind of? Oh, go ahead.
He'll point over to a building that seems to be on the far end of the road that you're on. Points over to this one over here. Hold on, give me a moment. I actually got Oh no, I'm gonna do something that I'm gonna regret in a second here, but here we go. Hold on. Let's see. Where is it? Is this it? I think it is. This
Okay.
is this one
Might
right
be in
here.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Professor will
Perfect.
like reach into one of the pouch or his coin purses and just like as how much do I even have? I'm running low on money. Do I even have any money on that? Okay. Yeah, Professor will slip two platinum out of his coin purse and like cup them in the palm of his hand and shake the guard's hand with it, slip them to him. Well, thank you so much.
A pleasure as always. And if you're needing a guide, I'll be more than obliged if you ever need to find me.
You know, I'll let you know.
Stay out of trouble.
And you'll see both of the Drake Riders slowly making their way out of sight, moving themselves around and patrolling around the main center.
You said there was
What?
a 3-story tall building. But assume
Yeah.
it's this one right here.
It is this one right here, yes.
So does it look like an orphanage?
Does it look like an orphanage?
Yes.
Roll an insight check.
You said the walls are like have writing or runes on them.
17.
Professor saw them.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Did I? What did they like? Do I know what they meant?
Yes. They are all
Right.
code for welcome.
Oh, okay. Lovely place. Welcoming.
Actually, Professor, you would actually see, apart from welcome, there would also be a small little piece of writing essentially across one of the buildings that says, welcome undoers, welcome disasters, welcome all things that will bring ruin to all.
That's very pleasant. Yeah, this is a great place. Have a great time here, guys.
And you do see, Daisy, that the building itself does seem to be structured into a very old-fashioned like building, almost like a mayor's office. However, the one next to it, over here, does seem to be fashioned into more of an orphanage-like building.
And Rob, are these like do these seem to be the only like notable structures in town that we at least like?
You can see what seems to be a temple right next to you, where you
Okay.
do see individuals and masked individuals are already starting to make their way inside, towards what seems to be a purple and red, feathered, leafed looking like tree. And as you're stepping there and looking inside, Daisy, this is the exact same tree that you had seen in Boshian. However, all of the leaves are there. This is not a dried out one.
Makes you want to climb it, doesn't it, Daisy?
Makes me want to touch it. Don't tempt me with another good time. Shit. That one was a wild ride, you know.
You do actually see some of the followers like occasionally reaching up, like as if trying to grasp out to it before some of them will pull away, and occasionally you'll see one of them like dropping down as if falling unconscious, causing some of them to either completely ignore them or some of them to actually rush over and try and bring back the unconscious form. However, a lot of them seem to occasionally put their hands closer to the tree, not touch it, but as if they feel like the genuine presence coming from the leaves.
You say there's like a genuine presence. How does said presence feel?
You do not know. Well, you do actually know because you've actually experienced it before.
Yes.
The last time that you remember when touching the tree back in Boshian, it was a very cold sensation, almost like a prickling, like numbness whenever you have like a dead limb and all of the sensation is coming back into it. It's the very cold sensation and that prickling along your palm at the same time.
Using the earrings, I would say, don't touch the tree unless you want to die.
You are free to move as you wish.
Can I want to do something stupid. I'm debating.
Is it A, touching the tree?
No.
B, touching a tree?
No. It does have to do with the tree, though. Yeah, I'm
3,
gonna do.
setting the tree on fire.
I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm gonna try and
Fireball.
telepathically connect to the tree.
Okay. Just for note, if you are actually trying to see the tree, I would
Oh,
like for
okay.
you to
Yeah,
either
yeah.
be moving where you would actually be stepping. Just for note, the guards do not seem to be stopping you
That's fair.
because you are disguised. Because you guys are currently at a level 25 disguise.
Yeah, buddy.
Except for
following Daisy.
Jonathan, who is currently not fully disguised.
And as himself.
And was I given any instruction on like a primary point of contact, or just kind of go with the group?
Don't let yourself be discovered.
Right.
Try and stick with the group.
I just meant
And
with the
help
group.
where
Was
you
there one
can.
person to shine on, or does it just kind of
Someone to shine on.
yeah, like seen as the leader from Roguish's side?
Oh, no.
Okay. That's actually a good question. He'd want you to keep an eye on Harry,
Okay.
but he would say that he'd probably either tell you to listen to the professor or Daisy
Okay.
at this moment in time.
I gotcha. And does Daisy make like you make like an obvious knowing that of this tree, especially when you say don't touch the tree.
Unless you want to die.
And so I've never seen anything like this tree.
Roll me a history check, please. Actually, no.
My deity is Shantae.
You would not know, actually.
Okay.
No, you've never
Okay.
seen a tree like this before. Even with history, you've never seen it. Sorry.
No, you're
This
good.
is something you've never seen before.
Oh, I should have asked, how many earrings did we get?
You had 6.
Okay, so he doesn't have an earring.
Right.
I'll
So
keep
yeah,
that
with
right.
that knowledge, I'll just kind of be following Daisy and say, "What's with the tree?"
So it's a
As you step forwards, Jonathan, this
Yeah.
guard here will look over towards you and just keep his eyes on you.
I'll,
I gotcha.
in a low voice, tell him it's a tree that belongs to the 7 sisters. Obviously, disguising my voice. They.
Yeah. And Jonathan's definitely aware of the eyes, and he knows where to put his hand. Like he's crossing his hands, or nowhere near his waist does his hands go.
She'll say, if you touch it, there's a chance you meet the 7, and there's a chance you most likely die. I came back from that alive. Wasn't a good experience though. The aftermath was not fun.
Jonathan, as Daisy is saying this, you will see that this individual over here is currently laid out next to the tree, prone, and has not gone up. And you would remember when glancing over that that was one of the individuals that had touched the tree.
See, quite a specimen.
One of the
Are these
followers
like
will
market
step
stalls?
out. Yeah, you'll see what seems to be small market stalls that seem to be set up and slowly structured, as if in preparation for a marketplace.
But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can telepathically connect to the tree. And there's the ability if you need to read it.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Worth a shot.
You try and link up to it, you get like a genuine buzzing sensation. There is a sudden numbness in the back of your head, as if you've like felt a headache, which is the first time that you've actually felt something like this.
Yeah, that's weird.
And as the headache begins to grow, you're like, okay, this.
I pull back. I'll tell Daisy. I don't know how to describe it, but I tried to telepathically connect to the tree, and I can only describe it as: Have you ever had seltzer water? Kind of like that, but in the back of your mind.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would get that when I ate snow in the winter.
Yes, just stay clear of the tree. Not anyone can handle what's on the other side. And I am lucky. Because I said the right words. And to some point, I think I'm still following what I promised. I'll just watch people trying to touch it and just falling to the ground.
You do see that the ones that are currently around it reaching out, not touching the leaves, but like leaving like a few inches between their palm and the leaves themselves before drawing back again. Almost like a motion of trying to draw the energy and grasping it within their hands before once again placing their hands together, rubbing them, trying to gather like a heap between them before once again reaching their hand out. And it's a very slow motion, but every now and then you do see the figures, and occasionally another masked figure would either leave or join the circle around the tree.
How many unconscious bodies are there?
Currently, one.
Keep my eye on that one. See if they return.
Okay. Meanwhile, what is everyone else doing?
I'm just hanging with Daisy, just making sure she can stay all right.
Yeah, why don't we go get our lodgings? Head on down the road. And Rob, I guess, is there anything in the darkness, or are these basically walls around the city?
These are walls around the city.
Okay. And
Oh no, this is mostly an open area. You do see
okay.
what seems to be down in this area over here. What seems to be a tower like structure, maybe 2 stories tall. You'll see what seems to be a doorway that leads over here. Down here you see what seems to be the starting platform for what seems to be a same like structure of the Cannon Rock carriage that you'd seen in Respite. Seems to be a very rudimentary version of it that is currently resting and currently transporting people back and forth in the same direction of what you saw the docks.
Okay. And so this is big building coming up. I guess it'd be on our right for walking forward. Does that look like that'd be a jail of some kind? Like, are there bars on the window, or are they near on the tower?
This here,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking at well, it seems to be some form of mayor's house.
A what house?
Mayor's house.
Oh, mayor's house. All right. So I think is like just looking around the tower is the most likely place prisoners would be. As far as I can tell.
Based on what you can see, you don't see anywhere that prisoners could probably be placed.
Okay.
As you're looking over towards the tower, you don't see any guards standing there.
Okay.
You actually notice that a lot of the guards seem to be separating themselves from that particular tower in particular. In particular.
Yeah, there are no guards outside.
Particularly in
Okay.
particular.
In particular.
Alrighty.
I'll message the professor and say, "Hey, by the way, whenever you get those lodgings, let me know so I can use my spells."
I'll message back. Wait, you're just gonna be at the tree?
I'm curious
Sure.
about
Okay.
this unconscious person. Want to see if they actually make it through the trial.
All right. Yeah, I'll just proceed down the street to get our lodgings.
Dune, you have a relatively large Hercules-style mechanical beetle on your shoulder.
Okay.
And Harry has the cat with him.
Oh. What do I see on this in this table cart stall that I'm at?
Can you run that by me again, please?
What's on this thing?
You see what seems to be a currently empty stall,
Oh.
which seems to be currently constructed in preparations for a marketplace. Where you
So
do
look
see
across,
some of
they're
the
all
rest-
empty basically.
At the moment, yeah.
Hmm.
You do see some individuals are currently making their way towards some of the nearby tents, currently placing down items from what you can see. You'll see this individual here is currently speaking to one of the guards that's currently discussing something as you see them placing down what looks to be vials of greenish and black-like liquids. You'll see directly next to him another stool that seems to be placing down vials, but instead of green and black, you see what seems to be more reddish, like familiar colors to healing potions.
With my knowledge of Poisoner's Kit and Alchemist Kit, can I just eyeball kind of guess what those might be? Like all of them?
Go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me a Poisoner's Kit with intelligence.
So D20 and double proficiency. Let's see. I'll just give you a D20. Plus 5 is 14. Plus 8 is 22.
22. You would see that this person is currently selling normal poison. They are also selling what seems to be a vial of wyvern poison. And you will also see what seems to be one particular vial of drow poison.
Seeing kind of Harry eyeballing these markets stalls, I'll telepathically tell him what I noticed.
With your 22, you also recognize
Right behind you.
that there is also
there.
an additional potion that has been placed aside that is currently being discussed with the masked individual and the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Which you see the guard is currently pointing to the red vial, and the masked individual is placing like his hands and doing motions with clear indications of like a silent like conversation to make sure that no one outside can really understand it too well. However, you can see that this red vial looks to be a healing potion but you find it strange that this particular healing potion is the only one there.
I love it. Okay.
That's all the rest that are currently poisons.
Okay. Yep. And
And you can see that they are currently having a silent conversation about that particular vial.
and then I'll tell Harry, and I'm pretty sure the red one is a trickster's healer.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were relaying this information to me. What was all the things you told me about?
Basic poison, wyvern poison, drow poison, and I'll tell him the corresponding colors. And then the red potion, which looks like a normal healing, Breck is pretty sure we call it a trickster's healing, or a healing potion, which is really poison.
I would say that seems reasonable for the poisons vendor to have a poison potion.
Usually,
But
it's just
I
a
will say
standard poison, but without testing it, you can't be sure because the color is hidden.
That did, since we were looking through our notes, I guess I owe you these as well, not just Daisy, because you got them off Daisy essentially. One of the things like that sparked my interest there, you said the wyvern poison, and it makes me wonder. I don't know if they'd had it. I don't know if it's considered a poison, but I am also looking for basilisk eye oil. So
Keep a lookout. Sorry, Rob. I gotta be right back. But yeah, Breck will keep a lookout if he knows what those look like. But yeah, be right back.
Yeah, you will see that
poison, but
the tent next to it does seem to have red vials that do seem to be similar to actual healing potions. The other one over here seems to have different vials that seem to be unique. But it's a little hard to see from this distance. Daisy.
Yes.
It's been maybe 10 minutes, counting up to maybe 15. The person's still there. Hasn't moved.
Yeah, they failed. They're dead. I'd walk away disappointedly, witnessing another failure. They don't join the exclusive club. So yeah, I would head over to the accommodations to find the professor. Eventually.
Okay. You guys make your way forwards. Making your way over to what seems to be the main center, where you do see two large-looking fountains in the center of the city of Avin. You'll see what seems to be 4 statues, each surrounding the north and southern side of the fountains, each flourishing with water that seems to be continuously flowing from the fountains, which seems very unique in the desert-like surroundings that you're currently in. You'll see that each of the statues each represent a infernal-like female, currently wearing armor and holding a blade within her hands, which some of you will recognize.
What is it?
You see mostly the details are familiar to a statue that you had seen in a temple of Helm, hidden behind a stone-like panel, and a variant interest to a tall ear companion.
So which one of the 4 statues was it?
All
Was it?
4.
Oh,
All
so
4
there's
of these statues.
Zenith,
seem to be-
Cora. Ah, shit. What were the other 2? I need to look at my notes. Where is it?
There was Zenith, there was Cora. You saw that there was a individual that was very large and infernal in nature, that had a blade in her hand.
See. I'll just look through statue. Should be faster that way.
Anyways, you will see on the far end what seems to be a tavern-like inn, where you do see what seems to be a sign over the top with a open casket with burning drops of liquor currently dropping inside of it. Jonathan, you'd
Yes.
remember you have something.
I have something further down the road. Is there something else?
You have something that could probably help since you were given something by Roguish.
If we're seeking lodgings, I have accommodations. Professor. Or Daisy.
Oh. If you have, then by all means.
Alright. If we're looking to rest up, oh, it's in the inn that the individual mentioned. So that was convenient.
And let us away then to the inn. Right. Proceed forward between.
Proceed forwards, winding around most of the mass individual, trying to not draw any particular attention. I will go ahead and draw anyone unless anyone wishes to not stick with the group. Are we splitting the party? Roll 1. Always split the party.
Rule 2.
Yeah.
Always split the party to make it fun.
Roll 3. If you don't split the party, good luck.
I was gonna say rule 3: always cast fireball in the hallway.
That too.
3 1/4.
Why a quarter? Because that's how much of the party's left.
You guys come into an open door as you do hear the sound of voices echoing out into the air, and the sound of a very fine singing voice echoes out from inside of the tavern. Sound of voices echo out from a nearby table as you see what seems to be a collective card game that seems to be being played in the front table in front of you. You'll see a number of. Oh, goodness, you see what seems to be a collective number of individuals cloaked or hooded, all that seem to be masked at different areas of the tavern inside, as you all see what seems to be a very beautiful looking humanoid like female that seems to be sitting on the bar top, is currently singing into a microphone, currently speaking out into the air, as you do see what seems to be a Harengon currently wiping down the counter.
Okay. See what card game you're playing?
You see what seems to be Gambit Race.
Okay.
Each individual places a bet on a set of cards, and whoever suit gets from ace to king wins.
Okay, interesting.
I'll walk up to
It's
the.
a mixture of chance and a mixture of kind of counting the cards. And especially since you know that Gambit's race, usually when it's played properly, each of the people that are betting each shuffle the cards themselves. So it's all passed around to each of the players. So you have a feeling in a place where sleight of hand is probably a very common thing, but also very, very like frowned upon because of the common standard.
Yeah.
It's very well known that this is probably a game for the experts,
Yeah. Okay.
especially trying not to get caught in the process as well.
Or yeah,
Her,
not be
Harangue
ideal to be
appears to be the
touching.
innkeeper.
Is that? Do they appear to be innkeeper? I thought they were like wiping out tables. More like a server.
You see that they are currently playing on a large table, and you see that one person is currently holding the deck, throwing them into place.
I mean, the
Where you
hair and
do
gun
see, oh,
that's
the
clearing off the table. Do they appear to be the owner of the bar? Or are they just like more employee servers
they
now?
seem to be watching over the place. You do see
Okay.
that whenever one of the people at the bar seems to be ordering a drink, or you do see one of the nearby individuals call out, they do seem to shout into the air and do seem to start serving drinks behind the bar.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
You do
approach.
see as well. So this is the Harangon, by the way. Hello there. You also see what seems to be a very fiery-looking female who is currently maneuvering around. Seems to be rushing over to different tables, picking up drinks, quickly rushing over, cleaning up any nearby dishes, and will rush back over to the nearby kitchen. You will
Okay.
see what seems to be directly next to you. Two armored individuals currently standing to attention in front of what seems to be a veiled piece of curtain that is currently closing off what seems to be a separate room.
Okay. Can I on roll 20? Is it supposed to be? It's not like super dark in here, is it? Is that like really bad line of sight inside?
Oh, I don't believe it should be. Give me one moment.
Didn't
I don't know
ask
if
the
anyone
same
else.
thing.
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
ooh, there we go.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Here we are.
Oh, hey, look, there's the hair gun you said about.
I'll
Yes.
approach
Fire lady.
the bar.
Is that a newt?
You do look over to one of the nearby tables, and you do see what
Yeah.
seems to be a grung-like individual.
Yeah, I was gonna say growing on. What's that? Who's that character there in the southern wall? Is that a golem of some description?
You do see what seems to be a giant red crystallized like golem that is currently standing to attention behind what seems to be a toll collector. And
Okay.
one of the guards quietly discussing amongst themselves on one of the tables.
Right, and this is where the curtain is, right here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll follow Harry up to the bar. I guess just kind of mosey on through.
Follow Harry up to the bar. Who said I was going to the bar?
Oh, sorry, not Harry. Sorry, you guys sounded kind of like the Jonathan, right? You said you're going to the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll follow Jonathan.
The harangue
Uh,
at the bar.
Apologies.
So is
You
this person on the
see,
bar?
oh yeah, she is currently sitting on the bar, currently singing into a microphone. Currently is like leaning over, like pinching this masked individual's like chin, who's currently leaned in, currently swooning at this current singer, who's completely got him in the palm of her hand. Um, before currently like pushing him away and starts stepping off and walking around, still singing, looks over towards your group and gives a slight wave to the newcomers as she continues to sing into the air. As the Harangon bartender will look over.
Greetings, greetings, welcome. You're obviously new from around here. Not a lot of tall individuals like yourself.
Looks up at you, Jonathan.
Return just a smirk. Yeah, I see that. I believe I have a lodging here for me.
Oh, you do you? Which one would that be?
Maybe under Jonathan? Roguish?
Her eyes narrow for a moment. The moment that you mention roguish, she'll partially arch her eyebrow for a second, look around for a second, give a nod, and will walk over to a small wall of keys, take one, and place it into your hand.
Enjoy your stay.
Appreciate it. And I just drop. I try to return some gold.
She doesn't take it.
Okay. I pick it up. All right. I look at the key to see the identifier. If there's a number on it.
You do look down, number 5.
All right. Let's go see what these look like. I just kind of walk forward and take. I'm guessing these are stairs up.
Yes. You do see as this fiery-like individual will rush over to what seems to be a small fairy-like man, currently resting at a furnace-like oven, just shouting into the air, "Bread! I can't make bread! They keep telling me to make bread, but I can't make bread anymore!"
What? Why can't you make bread?
Who are you?
Over here. Oh, just a patron. I just it seemed like you have a fine oven there. I don't know. Are you missing some ingredients?
None of your business!
Does he? And I look to Daisy. Does he always try to make bread?
No, he's just making conversation.
You see the fiery female quickly rush over.
I'm sorry, he's a bit of a bad mood right now. Just bad business at the moment in time.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
No harm. Was just curious.
It's fine. She'll quickly bow her head and start rushing away. Moves over to the
Okay.
grung and takes the drink.
Rob, the crystalline entity that was over here,
Mhm.
have I seen that before in any regards?
History check.
All right. That's the wrong tab. This is the right tab. History. 20.
Yes. Quite recently, in fact. You did see at that particular barricade, there was a mention of a small golem-like individual that was currently being captured in the camp. Same crystalline-like features, but this one seems obviously bigger.
Gotcha.
The altercation of bread past us. I'll continue my way up the stairs. And motion for everyone to continue.
You'll just hear continuous shouting from inside of the kitchen. Don't want to make no more bread. Just the sound of the voice of the fiery female. Just sorry. Shouting out into the air as you make your way up. You do make your way into the corridor upstairs.
Looks like
You'll
no bed,
see
guys. Sorry.
that there is 6 doors. 7, including the furthest one on the furthest end of the corridor, which you do see has a sign of WC on the front. You'll see that each of the rooms are numbered, and the furthest is 5 and 6. So yours is on the left, right next to the restroom.
Yep, make my way there. Open the door.
Make your way over, opening the door. It locks without any issues. You make your way inside. Seems to be a rather decent looking room. Small front room area, fitted with a table and 2 chairs. There's a small space for a closet area, which you can walk into with a few shelves that you can place a few of your belongings. There is a small bathroom area that is currently fitted with a bottle of endless water that is currently sealed and placed shut firmly against the wall to create some form of everlasting tap. And you do see that there is also a bath inside of your restroom. There is a queen size bed that is currently well pressed and seems to have been reasonably cleaned. And what seems to be a singular window with the curtains closed that seems to be facing the western side of the building.
Let out a whistle in impression, being impressed. I don't know who your roguish is, but I don't know who he thinks I am.
He's a good friend, but try not to mention his name out loud.
Oh. Okay.
Jonathan, with your whistle and your practitioned history, you will realize with your whistle into the air, the walls are reasonably thick.
Okay.
Not a lot of sound passes through, it seems.
I think we can discuss a few things here nicely. Unless there's anything magic, but I think Roguish chose this. I think he chose this on purpose.
Yes, we have
into the room.
methods to see invisibility. I gestured to both Breck and Harry.
Oh, right, and I'll twist one of my lenses on my glasses and activate my polarized lenses.
Full CSI, start scanning and full on checking the room, checking for any bugs or taps. After a quick scan of the room and anything that would be a lens to be seen inside, you will actually find that there is a small picture of what seems to be a dog in a suit holding a pool cue. And you'll see that one of the buttons does indeed have a magical like lens that would allow someone to see inside of the room.
So is the lens coming through the picture? Or is it like
It seems to be inside of the picture, as if it is part of the picture itself.
okay, so you wouldn't say that a part of the picture was taken out in order to place this lens in it?
No, it's as if someone had painted the magical like enchantment on it, causing the magical lens to be placed onto the painting.
Darn, I was hoping I could mending the picture together over the lens. What do I have?
Just remove the picture and put it somewhere else.
No, that's too obvious. Oh, I know what I can do. Okay, everybody out of the room.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to make a still image of the empty room using magical tinkering on a piece of parchment and do it reverse, and then put it in front of the lens.
Okay. So you're basically making a picture so it makes it look like it's a fake image. So it's just an empty room.
Yep.
Okay. You are full on like old school heist, like
Looping the
yes.
camera feed. Yep, that's exactly what
Looping
I'm
the
doing.
camera feed. Fucking looping the camera feed. Yes.
I love magical tinkering. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, you are able to have that projected up, allowing the lens to be covered and make it look like it is an empty room. How
What
long
about
does
the
that last?
sound?
oh, I was hoping you were going to ask that question. It lasts unless I dismiss it or if I do it again for the exact same purpose.
Okay. And the lens, from what you can see so far, does not seem to go through sound. However, you're free to do as you wish.
Okay,
Uh,
so
there was
only
a
projected?
there was a magical means of looking into the room, but I have thwarted it. But they don't know that I have thwarted it.
Okay, and it doesn't do anything about sound, just
I have
sight.
no idea. I don't know of a lens that captures sound.
I was more like saying if it was a scry focus or some sort, like a what was it called? It's
I believe those
sensor.
sensors usually are obular and move.
Okay.
This seems concave and fixed.
Okay.
Looking at
Right.
it, Jonathan would like pat him on the shoulder. Say, that's a magnificent painting.
You pat me on the shoulder?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know if I was told your name.
Yeah. No,
I
as
was
soon as
given
you like
some
touch his
credit.
shoulder once, he backs away from you.
And I lift my hand in obvious, embarrassment and, how you do when you realize you've crossed a personal boundary. So, oh, okay. Oh, magnificent painting.
You don't have
Wax kitty
hair.
she is.
That has troubled me since I saw you.
No, Frick, you don't have any hair either.
I couldn't hear you.
You're right,
Hectic.
but he's one of
So
you.
was that
You
you?
all have hair.
Well, there's different species of us, and his species don't grow hair.
Yeah, we're like stone in that way.
Stone carries moss. Moss could be considered hair. You don't have hair.
No, but if the stone moves, the moss doesn't grow. So, and I'm pretty active.
It's true. Rolling stone gathers no moss.
Meanwhile, as this conversation is happening, half of the group is still standing outside in the corridor.
I don't know where you expected us to go to.
There's no way up.
Verbally say, "Wow, this is a fantastic room. I should go into it."
There's suddenly the sound of footsteps behind the small group inside the corridor as you see a masked individual walk up, look and see everyone standing outside. God, that's a long line. Starts making way back down the stairs.
I just said to come inside the room.
I'll go inside the room.
What room? I don't know.
Just stay in the Kagala here. The room is imaginary.
It's currently theater of the mind.
Okay.
Under construction.
This room.
Under
Physically, I'm in my hotel. Mentally, I'm still in the lobby.
So
I'm gonna bring you all back to the map.
while they filter in, I would like to cast locate creatures and try to locate the princess.
And that is within
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
Yup.
No.
Oh damn. I let the party know. She's not within 1,000 feet of this place.
Wow, crap. That complicates things.
That's about. She's not within almost 2.2 miles from here, so
Well, that's assuming that if she isn't within 1,000 feet, that doesn't include for blocking preventative detection measures or in like a pocket dimension within the 1,000 feet.
Nah, it is also true. Yes. So obviously, her I can't find at the moment from this location at least, but we can move around the city for the next hour and try to see if I locate her.
Well, if you're going to that, we'll follow you, of course.
How late was it when we reached town?
You just morning. You guys
Alright.
got here maybe around about like 10 o'clock ish.
Okay.
You had met Jonathan around about 8 o'clock in the morning,
All right.
using the shadows mostly.
Well, if you need a
Right,
distraction, I pull out a little canister. I came up with a new thing. It might blind you.
Distractions. No distractions. We just
Not right now. Potentially later.
just walk normally around the city. We are merchants. We're looking for merchandise.
Certainly. Where's did anyone see anything that looked anything like a jail or prison? I didn't see. I don't know where they're holding people. I'm
Harry and I
curious
found
about that.
poisons.
Well, the sooner we
Really?
get out
Anything
there.
good? Sorry.
Wyvern poison and a fake healing potion. I mean, there's a drow poison, but those usually aren't too. I guess they can be good. But...
Like you found them? Like you guys have them, or you just
No,
saw
somebody
them?
was selling them.
Oh, do I know?
Third tent from the entrance on the south side.
Rob, does anything come to mind when I hear which is Wyvern's poison or the red liquid that he described?
You know that withering poison is usually made to damage. It's definitely a poison that's supposed to be placed onto weapons.
Okay.
Drow poison, you know that usually drow are people that want to retrieve and capture. So usually drow poison kind of incapacitates. In regards to the red potion, you sound that that's just a nasty trick to whoever decides to actually drink that thing.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
It's a tricky potion, especially if someone's on a desperate motion to try and heal themselves, and you offer them a healing potion without them recognizing that it's poison. It's a surefire way to stop someone from healing.
Sure.
And could actually kill them in the process, especially if they are weak enough to do it.
So we're gonna be walking around the city, Brett. Can you show me where you saw this at?
I said that out loud, right? Third tent, south side, from the entrance.
Oh, you did. Sorry, I missed that. Okay. Yeah, I think I might go check that out.
Think fast, chuckle nuts.
Bing.
Basically. Yes, and I'm also on the lookout for basilisk something. So.
Okay.
Vrek would know. Parkless doesn't remember.
Basilisk eyes.
Yeah, that's it.
Basilisk thighs?
Eyes.
Basilisk.
I mean, they do have
Wherever you get your rocks off.
They do have
Wherever you get
6
your
thighs because they have 6 to 8 legs.
If you, they might be an interesting delicacy.
Right.
But
I'd like some fried basky thighs.
He's looking for the eyes, not the thighs. Are you looking at my Emma Frost token too much? Is that what's going on here?
Bro.
Yes, these disguises save lives, but basilisk thighs are Rex demise.
Can we go down to Essrena fried basilisk? Get some thighs.
Nice.
I'm a winged guy with comes basilisk myself.
Fair.
Oh god, this is gonna turn into Monster Hunter soon, and you guys are making freaking.
What do you mean? You made the weapons available.
You're making EF freaking B EFB.
Yep. EFB.
Essrena fried basilisk.
Espresso fried basilisk. Yeah.
Oh god.
With
If it's not
32
cooked
herbs and
by-
spices.
If it's not cooked by Tabaxi, I don't want it.
Only the
Is
best for
that
us.
is that racist? I don't know.
God.
Species
I
S, sorry.
enjoy feline cooking. How about that?
Right.
Wasn't Vannon looking for some oddities too? Like he told us all what he was looking
It
for,
was
right?
the
You did-
wyvern tail.
Soul
I
of
think
unborn
something about a
children
dragon.
and virgin's blood, just the usual stuff.
The presser knows, but I don't. Like I'll look out for that stuff, all that stuff while I'm in the market. Some of that sounded pretty rare. I don't think.
I know probably nothing came of it, but with sea invisibility on, do I notice anything unusual from Jonathan? You say hair, I quit.
Roll me an insight.
You see some magical moss.
Not too good. Not great, but not too good. I'll leave it at a 10.
No, nothing really shows up. A few small, like, pulses of energy that seems to be arcane in nature. Seems to be definitely emanating from the runes that seem to be resting around his belt. Apart from that, nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Then yeah, I would absolutely
Would you like?
happily travel with the professor and point out shopping stalls for him.
All right.
Meanwhile, I Roomba these streets, trying to locate the princess.
With a bodyguard.
Okay.
I got you.
So, heading back to the inner city.
Not the inner city. They have poor education.
God.
As you guys step out, Daisy, you do see this building over here does seem to represent some form of orphanage. As you do see what seems to be a sign that says unlucky pennies.
Now, pennies as in the coin, or pennies as in the name?
Unlucky pennies is in the coin.
Gotcha.
I didn't. The gnome that Van and I talked to, he didn't say anything about a gnome being in Haven, as far as I can remember. Correct?
Not that you can remember.
Okay. I love walking into a town and finding a gnome. It's the best thing.
Vrek, as you do step out, you do feel a genuine presence, almost a drawing sensation towards the circus tent.
Oh, and I'll have sea invisibility on the entire hour, just so you know. And so I'll just scan around.
In that case, just for note, you will see that there is currently
700 wyverns flying above. Invisible.
So let's see this. You can see this.
And a
When
griffin.
you're stepping outside, you can see what seems to be around 7 floating, currently flying figures that currently are aligning the sky. All of them seem to be draconic in nature.
So dragonoid type creatures flying around the sky.
Flying around, circling as if in a patrolling like motion in different segments of the city. Some of them are currently circling around near the docks. Some of them are currently circling around near the inner city. Some of them are currently circling around where the mines are. And some of them seem to be circling in the just genuine perimeter of Avon itself.
Do any of these creatures seem ghostly or translucent?
They seem to be. Yes, all of them seem to be.
Sweet. All right. So I'll telepathically tell everybody that there are 7 dragonoid type creatures flying around on the ethereal plane patrolling the skies of this fair city.
That's inconvenient for us.
But it looks like that they can see through the plane.
But
Makes
could
sense.
they access this plane?
I can ask them.
Sure. No,
Don't ask them.
don't ask
No,
them. Yeah,
that's no, don't.
I would. I think.
Then
we
I
should
would
go
assume
for
that they
the-
can.
Yeah, I think we should go for the assumption that they can at will.
The second thing that you will notice is that there is currently a set of ghostly translucent cat ears resting at the front of this tent, and a ghostly translucent cat tail currently rising and wiggling at the back of the tent.
Oh Lord. No.
It's the Uwu tent.
No.
I
it's
think-
no.
Yeah, I think Professor would hear Vrek chuckle for the first time.
What? Rick, what's so funny?
Sound like wacky sandpaper.
However, usually you see the ghostly translucent like features in a more like gray and white like color. This one is more of a starfire like navy blue and crimson like red.
Quick question, do I see anything like this in the ethereal plane?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking that.
In honor of a kobold.
In honor of,
Sadly, no.
What do you find so amusing, Rick? You
the
don't
tent
normally
is a
laugh.
giant cat. And I want to go
Say
there.
what?
Give me a perception check, quick. We'll make it 15.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Professor visibly shudder a little bit.
Nice. At the same time, Professor shudders, my familiar cat jumps on his shoulder.
Does he meow in his ear?
Yes.
Oh Christ.
Just for note, Rick,
Yes.
you would know that your cat has the same coloration
I figured.
as
Yeah.
the ears
Yeah.
and tail that you are seeing.
And then I'll no, I won't point, that's too obvious. I'll just look to the cat and be like, hey, look, it's you.
Oh,
Just
it is,
looks
isn't it? It
over
is,
from the
isn't it?
shoulder as both Vrek and the professor hear directly next to his ear. Well, indeed, it seemed to be.
I'm sorry, say that again. There's one of these practitioners coughing in my ear.
Well, indeed, it does seem to be.
Is it like a legit like spot on coloring match, like same shades and everything?
Sadly, Professor, you do not see them. The only ones that
Oh,
can
yeah,
technically
yeah,
see it
Vrek.
is Daisy and Vrek.
Yeah, that's right. I can't see it.
Speaking
Okay.
of which, Daisy,
Yeah.
you can see currently sitting on the professor's shoulder, what seems to be a spectral, starfire-like feline, Scottish fold-like cat that's currently sitting on the professor's shoulder.
Daisy rubs her eyes. Since when can I see that cat? What? That's trippy.
Lord.
That's my cat.
Huh. Well then.
You've heard me say cat. Oh,
Yes, but I never seen it.
I do an obvious kind, not obvious, but I do a little bit of a bow towards the tent. I forgot. Yeah. As I show it's not praise, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reverence.
Reverence. Yeah. Reverence and respect to the tent.
I was just gonna see Rek do that, and he's gonna do the same.
But yeah, I need to go to the tent at
I
some point.
refuse.
But let's go around the market and I will show you whatever you're looking for.
Yeah. We'll talk about the tent later. Let's go find this place.
As we walk through, you'll know, like, every so often I just glance back at the tent and just kind of smile. Well, actually, I don't smile, but yeah.
This was actually making an effort not to look at the tent.
Any pins?
As you guys start making your way towards the poison tent, finally inside of Avin, now with an additional member. That is sadly where we will leave our session.
Can I
Yeah,
ask
It is already 9.
one thing? Can you show me what those dragonoid creatures look like? You don't have to share it with everybody if you don't want to, or if it's easier just to...
You do see what seems to be dragonoid, like ethereal creatures, that seem to be of the same eminence of, shadow-like, draconic-like entities that you had seen in the past. One of which you had actually encountered before. However,
Oh,
the
okay.
one that you encountered
7
was
of
much
those things?
smaller.
Stop saying
Yes.
words.
The one that you had encountered was much smaller than the ones that are currently flying directly above you.
I'll say it's been up for like 30 minutes. Okay.
So, any reminders to yourself, place them in the chat. Thank you all for playing tonight. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you,
We'll
Rob.
see how this goes.
Did you Goliath Roger?
I like Rune Knights.
That's a yes. Okay.
Basically.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not DMing this.
I had to get up for a second. Did you just say basically meant to be in a rune knight for the most part?
This is all after game above board, so you don't know.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah,
I said I asked
Bro, I mean,
I asked Dammy, I go, did you Goliath Roger? And he's
had,
like, yeah.
runes on his belt. I'm like, wait, is that a rune knight?
Yeah. That's
I was like, my first. I'm like, is that
Yeah.
a left rune knight?
You're
And
like,
I'm like, wait,
you're-
that means here.
as I'm sitting here, you're just like, oh, he's large. What does he look like? Oh, he like a Goliath? Yeah. Rob's like, exactly like a Goliath. Oh, okay. What are the runes? Can I read them? No, you can't read them. They must be giant since he's a Goliath. Damn it, Dad!
Daisy's not stupid.
I'm sorry, but you are walking into a crew of experienced adventurers right now.
Oh yeah.
And we're a
Oh,
bunch
yeah.
of smarty pants.
Like
Yeah.
all
Some of
the
them.
shit that all the shit that we've been dealing with the other campaign, they have been dealing with in this one. So each time that you've been like, we need to be careful, it's the same with this one because I punished them just as bad.
Actually,
See, the difference in
yours
this
is
campaign. In Prex, it was like, oh, we need to be careful. Death's around every corner. In Rob's campaign, it's like, okay, which giant beast is gonna punch us in the face this time?
Which
Because there's
death are we
always
choosing?
one.
to be
There's
fair.
always one.
To be fair, in Rob's campaign, it's more everybody is fine until the group does something stupid to make death around every corner. And
Hey,
then
we
it's
always-
and
We
then
did
it's
nothing
80
because
and then
that
it's
purple worm.
85 enemies in a single room.
The purple worm was not our fault. That would just happen.
That was a dice.
Yeah, that was the roll.
That
of
was the dice.
That was like episode 1. Like
That was episode 1.
Episode
was.
1.
I remember
praise
that.
God.
so do I
Episode
cuz
two, run away from God.
yeah, we almost fell into the mouth.
Wasn't the giant
Actually-
tree thing a roll too? It's a random rolls we happened to get unlucky with.
Dude, I love the fact that I told that not Roger, dumbass fucking Jonathan, like, yeah, no, trust is hard to come by these lands.
As, hey, you can join our group, no problem, no questions asked.
I mean, we accepted the
Hey.
Zentrum X member. We
I
accepted.
mean, the moment he said roguish, I was like, all right, damn it, roguish.
So Daisy's that easy. Good to know.
Jonathan does have a 17 charisma, so he
Oh.
comes off very pleasant.
Yeah, no, he passed. I did that insight on him to see if he had any ulterior motives. So Professor at least believes he's doing what he said. Like roguish actually did send him. At least that's as far as character wise. That's what I believe.
Are you my new hunter?
About to be, if he succeeds.
He was asked
You-
about
you
Hunter.
You double
but,
checked. You double checked, and Jonathan says he's not a hunter. He's never been called a hunter, but he has had to track down people.
Like, I didn't sign up for a new one, so there's no reason you should be signed to me. But I don't know. We might get to the point that Harry might be like, Rogish, what do you do? Why you do?
What do you do,
I,
Roach?
you know, I can't. If you were a hunter, that means you might be able to access the dimensional handcuffs. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
At this rate, I know I'm
what they're
pushing
talking about,
down
I'm
one
still-
line. Part of me is wondering if at a point I can just become the hunter crafter hybrid and do both.
That'd be sick.
Technically, yes.
Try. Yeah, you can certainly try.
The option was there. Rogish
I have-
did offer the hand.
Well,
to, like,
no,
say
you
if
offered
you
me to
wanted.
flip. I want both.
Yes, he was offering to technically do both.
Next time you see Rogish, hit him up.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
because
go
like
back
the
to
way I
capacity.
understood it was if you would like to become a hunter, we can instead get you a crafter, is what it seemed like was offered.
I mean, if
We'll
you think
discuss
about it-
I
things.
thought you were supposed to find someone to hire. I thought it was
I
originally.
mean,
Yeah,
he comes
technically you
back
could.
to someone. He's a hunter now, so he's both.
I mean, I'm about to come back
Um,
to someone, so
But by the way, Dammy,
Yes.
so the whole thing with the HDM is it's called the Height Doesn't Matter Battalion.
Yep.
Because everyone in the battalion is 5 feet.
Yep. 5 feet or less.
5 feet or less.
I guess at that
And,
point, why would the HDM send a Goliath? That's actually that's something that should hit me as odd.
Dragonborn.
Yeah, no,
there's a
Dragonborn
rea-
can be 5 feet.
There's a reason why Jonathan sent.
Jonathan has not lied to you.
You also include lying as omitting parts of the truth. Has he not lied to us?
I mean, most
Don't
people
answer
would,
that.
but
Actually, don't
apparently
answer
he
Find
hasn't.
out next
Don't answer that.
week
Don't
on
don't answer
who's
that.
in the
Find out
party.
next week in the Grand Frontier.
I mean, I'm just saying, we already know for a fact he's admitting information. He doesn't need to tell us that. We all know that. Come on.
I don't want to
Well, it's
add
like
you
exactly.
to my
It's like
overlay.
everyone omits. So lie by omission is just an assumed fact of life.
Oh yeah.
But Jonathan has not stated out anything that is a lie.
Oh yeah, Dan, just a heads up. One reason why I gave you all of my notes is because Harry trusts you enough. So if you snoop around, you snoop around. There's a lot of information that Harry does not tell people in there that you have full access to if you want.
She'll remember this.
I mean, you have the notes. You look through it, so
Yeah, she will remember this. Because as I did tell you, she wrote everything down, but in specific different sections.
okay.
And you may have seen some of the sections she has in her notebook.
I think that's another thing that I think you might enjoy, Dammy, is these guys take a shit ton of. They take so many fucking notes.
Oh, and just a side note,
I'm
if
freaking
you want,
violation.
if you want my notes, they're fucking dude. It looks like someone gave me like a piece of paper, and I wrote dead center to start, and then I was like, well, crap, I need this information. So I put it in the top left, and this information in the bottom right. This information on the side sideways because I didn't have space. This goes to the top right because it's a different category. And then I
think
look at it,
have
I'm like,
100
oh.
pages of notes unsorted.
The top left and the bottom right are identical. I should put those together, but they're on opposite sides of the paper. Oh no. Like, I literally just did that before I said damn them. I was looking, I was like, man, these are fucking scattered. I tried to arrange them somewhat.
Perfectly constructed.
Dude, I love how in this party there's at least been one person who's done what Dammy just memed about.
I
That
think
was
I've done
Olive
it a couple
originally,
times.
and then now I'm doing it, and I don't know who else is doing
What did
it. but
Dammy
I'm
meme
sure
about?
somebody
Meme
else.
about?
And the
Pepe Sylvia.
All the notes.
Oh, I didn't see the meme.
Pepe
More.
Sylvia.